Alrighty, I think we should be live right now, and yep, everything should be on here. So, hi everybody, this is CVGS, I'm the Captain here, and welcome to our discussion stream where we'll be discussing the news that we've heard from the Tuesday's live stream, as well as just go deep into what we can see and what we can believe is going on with Vanguard and Overdress for that matter. So, hi Adam, hi Andrew, hello, hi Luke, yes, you're bang on time today as well. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Now, before we get started, this just dropped. This literally just dropped, and it's actually a triple R and DBT02 set. So, hi Rin, how's it going? This unit skill is actually a triple R. It's designed for Barrow Magnus, but as it turns out, it seems like this is something that I could use in Bruce. It's actually quite nice. So its skill is Alter on the Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can soul charge 1. And then its skill from the soul, by paying count +1 and putting this card into the drop zone, you can soul charge 1, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets plus 10k until the end of the turn, which is actually quite nice. So hi Luke, yes, it's good to see you again as well. Happy to have you on every week. So yeah, I'm surprised that this card didn't really come out sooner, because I think that there's still a few triple R's that hasn't been released yet, but DBT02 is coming out next Friday. The official release date for it is next Friday, alongside with the English release for their festival collection. So if you guys are looking for some of the stuff, like for Bruce players, if they're looking for Jared, right there, I didn't turn on my light, there you go. There you go. So if you guys are looking for this, it will be available this Friday, so do look forward to that coming up. So I hope you guys have your cards in order. So but yeah, actually something like this, right? I've always find that there's some nice cross contamination. Contamination should not be word. There are some cards that can go well for either one of the decks. And seeing this, right, this reminds me of Electro Spartan, because Electro Spartan skill is part of the right line. So when you write Barrow Magnus, you can draw a card, choose one card from your hand, and put it into the soul. Something like this, right, will actually be really. Something like this is in the same vein, and it's not limited to you know, Barrow Magnus. So I actually can see something like this actually being used well. So set it to the drop, so charge 1. It helps to replace him when I need the power up, and it's really good if I'm missing, like, say, like a strong attacking in Bruce. So this card actually comes in handy. It's quite nice. But this one was released, I think, as Color of Day. I don't know where the release is, so time to blink our English decks. Yes, that is true. You can blink your English child decks all up right there. So Right, so we'll get to the news over there. We also go through these two for Matcha as well as Karon, because I see where they're going with this. With the right line for Phantom Blaster Dragon, so it's good to see what they'll do. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to the news that came up. And we'll start from the top. So we got promos. So we got promos for the month of July. So you know, once the month turns over, then we'll be seeing these promos in your tournaments, so you guys can look forward to it. For Kagero and for Nova Grappler, Kagero one is from the soul at the start of your main phase. If your opponent has no regards, you may call this card to Regard Circle, and then you know, it's X skill. You can counterblast one and retire this unit to choose one of your opponent's regards and retire all of your opponent's regards with the same grid as this unit. Now that I have a day to sleep on it, you know what immediately comes to mind? Well, as the assignment goes up from the music, so does mine. So it reminds me of Overwatch, actually. Seeing a card like that, right, with this skill, blow up everything with the same grade, it's immediately Diva. Like, nerf this. Which is pretty hilarious. So let me see if I have the sample video so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So how long has it been since I've had something like that in use? Should be it's deep in my files, so that's gonna take some searching. But anyways, but yeah, it's basically a strong this is a very strong nuke, and I can see quite a number of people actually might choose to go for this, so they can supplement more destructions in premium and V premium as well. So upcoming Steel Dragons can definitely probably use something like this. It's actually really nice, especially with in premium. If you play with Ziggerberg and you know you're playing with a full bot wipe Kagero, no, not Kagero, you know, a full bot wipe in Kagero, you can actually use something like this, right? And this one can really help supplement a lot of the destruction that you might need to do. The soul skill is a little bit negligible, but you know, closer to the end of the game, if you have something like this tucked away nicely, you can actually call it out, and then you have another rear guard that you can actually call out. So this is actually quite good. Speaking of good, we also got Swordbrand Gladiator as well. This one's for Nova Grappler. On the Vanguard Circle, when the attack hits, you draw a card. This is actually quite nice, means this is actually a really good write-up card that you can actually go for. And then auto, when you see it's placed on the Vanguard Circle, if you have 3 or fewer cards in hand, you can Soul Blast one to draw one card. If you have 2 or fewer rearguards, draw one more additional card. So some of this is actually really good to really help increase your hand size either closer to the end of the game or somewhere in the mid game, because I've always had this problem whenever I play Nova Grappler, is that my hand size always tends to be a little bit on the short end. So that's where I can, you know, that's where my opponent can kind of really capitalize and either deal a lot of damage or even potentially kill me. So something like this is actually really good. If I could play 4 copies of this if I ever need any. So yeah, this is actually what we got from there. And of course the standard promo, which is this dark dude with a scythe. Apparently Overdress is giving a lot of love to like staff type kind of weapons. So you know, scythe for Orpheus, then the staff from Zorga, and now this as well. So but anyways, this is Vorpal Scythe Dragon. So his skill is act on the Regard Circle once per turn. You can pay Soul Blast 2, and after that you can choose one of your opponent's regards and retire it. So this one actually gives both Pyromagnus and Bruce a little bit of a way to kind of like you know, explode something. And I think they misquote this wrong. I think this is supposed to be Soul Charge 2, not Soul Charge 1 or so. But yeah, auto when Regard Circle, when this unit attack hits, then you may Soul Charge 1. So it's actually a really good on hit attacker. So yeah. Hi Primero, you are awake and you've drank your coffee and now you're back to the hype. Yes you are. DBTO3, let's go. We'll get to it very shortly, because we gotta go through Vairina stuff. We always start from the top and go down from there. So Luke says, wow, they are very awesome and I can't wait to get those encounter cards as well. I wonder if it's possible to build an encounter deck. Not a full encounter deck, but you are supposed to have the right line. So you are playing the full Blaster, or you're playing the full Draconic Overlord right line, and then supplemented by the rest of the cards in Draconic Overlord. Either from the set, maybe you can get from DBT01 as well, even the start deck as well. There's a lot of good stuff they can actually get from it. So yep. Right, so we get to the Vairina stuff and the card reveals. So Armored Dragon Mount Cannon. Auto on the front row Regard Circle, when your grade 0 unit attacks, this unit and the attacking unit gets power plus 5k until the end of the turn. You know what this means? Suddenly the gameplay for Vairina has completely changed. Because the gameplay now asks you to hit your opponent with Trickstar as much as possible. So you take the talisman and you just... That's how it is. So. Oh yeah, do you think Kara will see any big plays in Premium? Kara? Kara, you have to let me know what that is also. Hey Haruki, sorry guys, been a while. We had new schedule, so finally made the stream again. Hello Haruki, thank you for coming out to the stream. It's good to see you again actually. So new work schedule, well, as long as you're able to get through, it's nice to have you on as well. So use our great zero Trickstar to win the game. So pretty much I take my talisman and then I beat you with it. So and this one gives it more power, so it's like oh, you need some power, that blah, blah, blah. Hey, I got power too. So that's kind of like the idea, and it's emphasized more by the double R in the set. So Blaze Face Monk's Damari. So auto on the Regard Circle, enter the battle, this unit attack, you can pick up +1, so +1 to choose one of your opponent's Regards in the front row, retire it. Then if your Vanguard is Nirvana, they can actually choose one grade 0 from your drop zone and call it the Regard Circle. So this means that you can now multi-attack with Nirvana, which used to be only if you manage to restand Vairina Valiente, but now you can just attack with him, call the at the end of the battle, pay the cost, you can call the Vairina from the drop zone, call it over him, then he can attack again. So this is quite big also. I forgot him, sorry, Matcha. Oh, Kara. Oh, Matcha. Yeah, we'll go through Matcha. So, change the meta. Let's read our skill before we go there. But it's an AK grade 2 and how to make space for it, lol. If you mean this one, AK grade 2, it's a common card. So something like this just gives your Trickstar a lot more power to hit. And sometimes you really want the power to hit also, because not a lot of cards actually can give a lot of power to Trickstar when he attacks, beyond the boost. So yeah, this will be one of those cards that actually can call it out, but you still need power. So maybe some of this you might want to consider. There are other cards as well, so you have to play to what's best for you. So yeah, interesting. A deck centered around Urger. It's now Urger. It's not Elgar anymore. It's not Urger. But it seems to be different build all around for variety of focus build. So question is, do you still run them together? You can run them together actually. Just give me a second. Just want to be careful, so I am going to put that down because I don't know if Copyright Claim is going to hit us for that song. So it might, but so far I think we are hesitant. So Persona Right can also give Trickstar power. Yes, Persona Right can give the Trickstar power, but then if you are struggling, right, that Trickstar is only going to be 4k. So something like that and something like this. And remember, the Trickstar has to attack first, so he just needs to be on the field in the front row. So he gets power, he becomes 13k from there. So he doesn't have to attack first. You know, Trickstar can attack first, then he gets the power up, he gives the power to that as well. Both of them will get it. So, idea. It's the idea that I'm throwing out also. Hi Mate, yes, you are back. Now we see different style of play in Vairina, which is a good thing also. Yes, back to the question for Aoki. Yes, you can see, I can actually see people playing, still playing Vairina Valiant, because it's still helpful to have that on-hit threat and restand, because they're already suffering through multiple attacks they don't want to do anymore, so they will force out the guard, or they will give you another attack. One or two things is actually going to happen. So Vairina Valiant might still be there. Arcs will be there because I think you will want the draw. Unfortunately, I think you may, quote-unquote, drop Vairina, the OG Vairina, for the next card over here, which we should now go through right now. We should have gone through already. So, which is Vairina Urger. And it's called Urger, it's not called Elgar anymore, which sucks. It really, really sucks. But anyways, Vairina Urger, he overdresses on Trickstar, and its skill, auto from the hand. At the end of the battle where your Trickstar attack the Vanguard, if your Vanguard is Nirvana, you can actually pay Soul Blast 2 to overdress this card and stand onto your Trickstar that's on the Regard Circle and counter charge 1. So this is a form of counter charge, and it actually is a multi-attacker. So the idea is you have like maybe this and this thing on here. So then you attack with this one over here. Then after that you call Trickstar out. Then this one will give power when he attacks the Vanguard. Then after he attacks the Vanguard, it goes straight into Vairina Urger, and then you attack with this one as well. And it's continuous skill on the Regard Circle and Guardian Circle. When this unit is in overdress state, this unit gets plus 10k power and plus 10k shield. And it applies on the opponent's turn as well. This is wild. This is actually quite wild, and this is what might be the kicker and what might push OG Vairina out of the deck, in a way. So, but you know I was gonna use Dominate, so the ruling killed me. Maybe so. Maybe play one copy of Vairina for a right line search. Yes. Leon and I talked about it yesterday in our discussion stream. You can still play one Vairina, so you can actually search out the Vairina. It still helps with deck thinning, even though it's only one card. And if you do continue to play the right line with the Blaze Maidens, you can actually deck thin that way. But there are people that are experimenting with playing with the Eugene right line, and just instead of Eugene, it's actually Nirvana on top. You won't deck thin, but you'll be able to get a lot of soul to pay for certain costs. Because soul has always been a problem for Nirvana for a significant amount of time. So. Hi Kaio, how's it going, my jammer? So basically you need Persona right or have grade 1 AK booster to make Trickstar's attack actually worth something. Yes, which is why I play the idea of, you know, playing this Mount Cannon as well, because it gives you a grade 0 plus 5k, so that 4k becomes a 9k, and then the 9k, right, if you don't have Persona right, then 9k you know, can still hit something. Can still hit, it won't be by much, but then if you have some other ways to get power on top of it, you possibly can. Then after that, you know, the Trickstar can hit from there. But the idea is that you attack with just the grade 3 alone, then you call him out. And then after that, plus 5k power, so then with the booster, it attacks the Vanguard. Then you switch to this, which this one is already 20k. And then it attacks 20k. So your combinations vary. So we can play Festival Collection Mirroring card as well. Yes, I think Mirroring might actually fit well nicely with this now also. Time to G Evo Elgar buddy fight reference. So unfortunately I don't get it. I didn't get into buddy fight. So but yeah. So this is the big thing, and then it kind of like pushes Nirvana up a little bit on a lot of people's attention span, because now Nirvana is now a multi-attack hitting regard, and it does involve like playing cards down in order to use it. But hey, this is a strong card to actually attack with when you use this skill, and then to defend with, because as long as this uses Overdress, the plus 10k shield makes him a 15k blocker intercept. So just intercept with him next time if you need a 15k from there. If it's not attacking, if it's not straight attacking to Algar, you can protect your Vanguard with a 15k and boom. Quite good. It's quite good. And the fact that it's 20k base as well, this makes this card actually quite difficult to hit as well. So a lot of considerations on your opponent if you were to play down this card. So you actually add a lot of pressure, which is very, very important for Nirvana, I feel so. Luke says, I just finished the original series origin deck for Royal Paladin, Alfred Blaster. Includes 3 of the original Blaster Ducks, 2 MLBs, and 4 of the Blaster Bases. So, and the triggers are all 5k power. Very classic also. We still have that deck actually in the office. Although it's not the original because we're missing a lot of cards, but it's still an MLB deck and still functions just as well as we hated it back in the day. So plus 50k shield, is that Monarch skill? No, it's a Vairina Urger skill. It's my god, it's got a lot of shields. Yeah, hype on the new Dark States right line Gentleman Dragon. Yes, it's more like Mafia Dragon. I kind of agree with Vimero on that. It's more of a Mafia Dragon. But let's get straight into that right now, because the news that we got is the key visual for the box art for DBT03, and I have been commenting on the art much recently right now, and you know, this unit is called Vairina Expector. So hang on, let me just get the obligatory prop. Alright, so obligatory prop, Expector Patronum right there. Vairina Expector Patronum right there. So I expect a retire skill. Actually, here's the thing. Its skill has been given a preview, just like have you seen with all of the whatchamacallit? The V-Kind collection cards, the new units that's coming out in there, and the previous skill is use the dress base to perform storm attacks. So I like to hear everybody's nice one cap. Thank you very much. This was my brother's, but then he gave it to me because he's not a pop culture guy, but I am. So yeah, Expector Patronum right there. Here's the thing, and you guys feel free to let me know your predictions or what you feel it might be the case, because this is a discussion stream after all. What if, like, considering that DBT02 DBO2, right, the cards in there actually changes the way that Nirvana plays. What if this is also the same? And, hang on, let me blow it up a bit. What if this is also the same? And it actually makes people like play back the OG Vairina? Because when it says that, I've seen a few people talk about it. I've seen Vanguard Insider talk about it. I've seen DOVA-Fight talk about it as well. You know, they say that, you know, what if you take out the original dress, like when you attack, you take out the original dress and then something happens, with Expector in order for you to do stuff. So that's how you use the dress base to gain stronger. But what if, and here's what I propose, what if this unit has the skill when it attacks, it checks what you have in the original dress, and if you have a particular unit, then additional stuff can happen. So here's my thoughts. My thoughts is that, right, this Vairina Expector, right, will do something, of course, as it always does. But if you have the OG Vairina in original dress, you gain the additional ability, like maybe plus 10k, you know, power and so on and so forth. What if? So I let you guys think about that. So I'll read out your comments. So as Nirvana, the deck building now is very interesting, trying to make space for everything. So one thing to make certain is that you probably will have to give up some things and go with a play that's more suited for you. You won't be able to fit everything. That's something I have to accept when I build Bruce with Mabel and Leonard and all the other stuff in there. But you won't be able to fit everything. Otherwise, your deck will kind of like sink a little bit. So you probably have to cut some people and, you know, cut them and bring them in based on what you feel the state of your deck is. So, but that's the beauty of having now the 5 nations being the way that they are. So it's about family. Hi Emerald Samurai, how's it going? So same, yep. Hey, so charged, bada bing, bada boom. Expect the retired skill. Yeah, I was talking about that. Cap is a wizard, confirmed. Yes, I'm a wizard. So did you not see the yeah, I'm a wizard captain. So yeah. So Emerald Samurai, detach dress material to restand or deal damage. I don't know about restand, but I think you have increased attack and maybe additional critical. I do like the idea of detaching original dress. But what if it checks your original dress for a specific thing? That extra stuff can happen. So you might have like the blood ability, remove original dress and goes brrr. Yeah, I think it might depend on how you use the original dress. You do stuff like one dress stuff do things, then 2 dress stuff you do stuff. Yeah, that's also another way of looking at it. What if it counts the number of original dress that you have, and then certain things can happen because you have that. So maybe use the original dress and superior calling. It's all start deck, always has been. If you want to fit everything, 50 cards is not enough. Absolutely not. So Expector going to be expecting some undressed units. I like that. Man, I'm just happy that they're moving from the 10 right lights now. So yeah, we'll get to that. So we're Yu-Gi-Oh now, boys. I mean, when the card stacking came in, it's like people have already made the comparisons from there. So Valiante's normal needed. I kind of disagree. With that, Blitz, because it still helps that you have Vairina Valiante. But there's one point that I discovered, and I made this during the Tuesday's live stream as well. I realized that for any new player, right, that's coming into Vanguard Overdress, and then they have the start deck, right, they can actually just build off of DBT02. Like everything that's in DBO2, they can actually build something decent from there. You can make a deck without DBT01 stuff, so you can make do without Valiante. You can make do without the PGs in there, Twin Buckle Dragon or the Overtrigger or any of the cards that's in there, Arcs and all that. You can actually get away with just building stuff from DBT02 and not have to go to DBT01, which is super nice actually, because it makes accessibility for Overdress a lot more better. And you know, it doesn't confuse the new players. They can just focus on, just get the new set. You can just get the new set. You can build something decent off of it. Then when you are comfortable with the game ready and want to build up even further, you can look back at the older sets and then you can get the stuff in there. Maybe the other Overtrigger. Maybe you can get the PGs in there, Valiante, so on and so forth from there. So that's what I kind of think about, you know, that's what I kind of think. I'm swinging this as if like I'm trying to cast a spell here, but you know, I'm just really kind of like sorting my thoughts here and just saying that maybe the way that DBT02 is designed actually is quite well done, and it actually supports it actually really supports for any people that has a start deck to be able to build something worth a damn still by just buying DBT02, which is actually quite nice also. Every set can be a different build. Exactly, I like the idea that every set can be a different build. So we didn't really see it until Vairina Urga actually came out. But it's quite nice to know that is actually possible. You can have varying builds, depending on whether if you build from DPTO1, DPTO2, hybrid of both, so on and so forth, and DPTO3 from there as well. So Bastion is still the best deck. We all have our own opinions. I still like Bruce. So yeah, so you gotta give props to the game design team for this. Exactly, Mori-san and his team have been so exceptionally good at this. Like, Overdress and Vanguard has never been any better. And right now, I feel like it's really got up in terms of like one of the best card games right now, especially in terms of boosting, and especially in terms of accessibility. Like, it's hard to beat Vanguard now. Any other card game that I can think of right now, it's not possible to actually compete with Vanguard at this stage right now. So Vanguard's not going to be the best because they don't have the years behind them compared to some of the others, like the big wigs over there. But it's still a very accessible game. It's climbing up. I feel it climbing up, and it's really, really good. So, I'm just sad that Booster 2 didn't make the existing deck take a different direction. Like, you can use the cards for more control Vairina, you know? It's just get the new cards, put in your deck, and that's it also. Well, yes, that is the truth for all boosting also, but nothing will stop you from letting your creative juices flow and just figure out something that works best for you as you build things up. So, yeah. Just don't limit yourself based on, oh, it's just a new cards and go from there. No, you gotta look at the older cards as well, and you gotta build something in your deck, right, that's best fit for you, which is quite nice also. Is that a fact or theory? I'd say it's a theory. I'd say it's more of a theory, more so than it is a fact. I like to think that you know, Vanguard actually is starting to get more prominent in people's heads because of the way the marketing is done, because of the way that the game is so super easily accessible right now, especially in Japan, when they have these games in family marts, when they have in convenience stores and bookstores and a lot of places as well, just to get word that Vanguard is out there, and you know, you can get a lot of good things going off indeed as well. So yeah. What are your thoughts on Grade 1 Blaze Raiden from Festival Collection to help with soul management and powering up Overdress units? I feel like it works really well with the Erger ERGER build. We'll take a look at Mirin. So, but we get to the last piece of news right now, which is the 3 new right lines that's being introduced by DPT03. So not only were we expecting Expector Patronum up here with the ability to you know, use the dress base as in order to get strong attacks, we also got 3 new right lines for Dark States, Brangate, and Soikia as well. Dark States, Demonic Dragon or Greek Gridon, where you consume your allies for greater power, but this feels very Tachikaze. It feels very Tachikaze, so which is weird for me, but I dig the design. It's basically CEO Mundo slash the gangster Grey Hulk that was in the comics at one point in time. I forgot what he's called. I think it's Mr. Fix-It. I don't remember my comics all too well, so but yeah. I dig the design. Then over here in the middle, which is Genova from Final Fantasy VII, with Sephiroth's ambition. I'm going to put this in that. So with Sephiroth's ambition to wipe out your opponent's great rear guards with Meteor, with the power of Meteor, which is hilarious. Which is hilarious to think. But it's like a hybrid between Ghidorah and a Deleter, you know, and so on and so forth. A Messiah maybe, but you know, there's one person that has expressed disappointment that it's not a mecha, but you know, this is good. Like design-wise, it's not. It's very like fear-inducing, and I like the idea of, you know, use the Meteor with the power of Meteor to wipe your opponent's regards, which is hilarious. So, but yeah, and then of course the last one, Maelstrom's boy, the son of Maelstrom, which is actually Fleet Dragon Flag Berg, and its skill is that it can activate skills based on number attack. So Arkham Force is coming back to Overdress, which is quite nice to see. Which is super nice to see. So yeah, that's pretty much all the news from there. So let's quickly take a look at Blaze Maiden Mirin. So because initially when we saw Blaze Maiden Mirin, it seemed very lackluster. It seemed very lackluster for whatever is Vairina doing. But now we have we now know what's coming for Nirvana and DPTO2. So when your unit with the Overdress ability attacks, you can put this unit to the soul. Choose one of your units with the Overdress ability, gets plus 5k power at the turn. Yes, this actually is very helpful in terms of making sure that your soul kind of like maintains a little bit, because you do have the soul master in order to call out Erger from there. So this card actually now goes up in value, and I've always said that, you know, like there's gotta be a reason why we're seeing certain cards in the Festival Collection. If they may seem a bit sucky at first, but I don't really think so. There's gotta be a plan somewhere, And yeah, the plan somewhere was this. So yeah, in terms of soul management, it will help with the soul management quite a bit, especially if you play the Blaze Maiden. If you still play the Blaze Maiden right line, exceptionally so if you use the Eugene right line actually. So yeah, it would still help very well with the Urga deck. So, but currently right now, even with Valiente also, it's supposed to power Valiente. Not significant as we noticed, but with Urga in the way, yeah, something like this will actually be really good. And this unit and Miriam can actually be boosting, Trickstar. So you know, then she'll go into the soul to pay for it, and then you know can give plus 5k to the Overdress to the Overdress Urga, and yeah, you can just pretty much go for that. This will be a very good card. It should go on with value. Luke says, I think Mori is enjoying the enjoying the smell of the game. Everyone is wondering why I was quoting was giving his strive as well. Yep. I love Mr. Sam. I feel the same too. Yu-Gi-Oh! Plus Magic equals Overdress soon. Vanguard top 4 card games as well. If it isn't already, but it's just a theory. But I do feel like it's really getting up there. So, Gantu in a suit. if you mean Greedon, then yes. So, but you know, I akin this to back in my older days when I used to play a lot of League of Legends and like CEO Mundo right here. So yeah. Vanguard is already the top 4 though. It's just the difference between the top 3 and top 4 and top 3 is abysmal. So. Again, it's just a theory, so I do feel like it's getting up there. There's a lot more prominent in people's minds, but it will never crack the top 3, in my opinion. So, Maelstrom Sum is here too. Yep, I think the dragon will just call from Soul. You know, it could play. Yeah, it's gotta be something that would play from Soul. So maybe it's like it will like you know, it's a Pale Moon style of play. It's a Pale Moon style of play. So maybe, yeah, as Kyle says, so for Gangster Dragon, Pale Moon style of play. Yeah, it could be a Pale Moon style of play, and if it is, I'm gonna be 100% happy because I would love to have a Pale Moon style of play. So, Mafia boys start to send the unit to the ocean where the mermaids are swimming. I like that also. I like Bruce, but his first grade 3 turn sucks. So yeah, that's the point because Bruce is supposed to come out strong, but that kind of power has to come with a sacrifice, and it delaying for 1 turn, right, is the sacrifice. So it's something that you have to go through. So I main Bruce, and that's the thing that I always have to do. So whenever it comes to, so you know, whenever I'm playing Violence Bruce, whenever I'm playing Violence Bruce over here, right, I'm always thinking of the turn after. I never think of the write up. So the write up I can still continue to play passively and either get a lot of either try to get defenses up as much as possible or rush out, you know, even before I'm able to get the final rush, just rush out as well. Like there's many different ways to play. It just comes down to what kind of play style you use. So but yeah, so the brand gear one is my favorite, Genova and Meteor Grade. Yes, Genova. I'm surprised nobody actually made this except for me. So but yeah, what if that's the actual law? Like this is Genova? That would be funny, but that would be very funny. But I would love to have a good read on that also. Rin, I think that at least three of her maybe. I like that you can boost with her first, then just put in a soul with an Overdress unit attacks whenever you're ready. It's a choice. With Miriam, you always have the choice to actually put her into the soul, which means you can have her out as the booster first before anything else. Then when the Overdress unit attacks and you need the power, you can just suck it in at any point in time, and then you can go from there. So yeah. Rin says, yeah, after yesterday's reveal, I pre-ordered my Mirin. I see. Deleters by waifu equals Meteor power. I'm begging to think that Gravidia isn't from Cray. Probably some invader like Deleters and Star Vaders or so. It could be, yeah, it seems like it's an alien race. So we'll see where it goes from there. It's placed in Cray also. We need to see where it goes from there as well, because we don't know what's going on, but hopefully we'll get to know sooner rather than later. So I'm still not sure. I need to play test first, and then each people will have different style of building Vairina deck essentially. So seems like very new set, you're allowed to build a new build for Vairina. Yes, and I like that. That's actually I like that actually might be a thing, because if you can play a different style from different sets, right, that actually makes it a lot more difficult for people to predict what kind of Vairina are you gonna play with. So, and you can still confuse your opponent by playing the right line for Eugene, and then you switch to Nirvana in your right line. So different builds from this set as well. Especially probably see people play test as I play English. Once we get the English cards, I'll play test them. You can see us playing them once we get the cards next Thursday, so that is coming, so you can look forward to that. So are you gonna stick to Bruce? Yes, I'm gonna stick to Bruce through and through. Although I will probably build like this on the side. I'll probably build this on the side. I did not have to build Barrow Magnus, but I actually do have parts for Barrow Magnus. I just never got around to playing it because I already had Cal actually building Barrow Magnus, and so he did a good job on that. So yeah. Thinking of turn after is always great. So yeah, so it's good to think about the turn after because you do need to do some planning. Whenever sometimes I play, like you see me being quiet, I'm actually thinking of what's going on. If I'm laughing, that means I know what's already happening and I've already accepted fate. So that's just the way that I play. Since that video said you're allowed to have a new build for Vairina. Yeah, that's what you mean. So we have a whole binder of different kinds of Vairina. Yeah, I don't put it past that also, especially, you know, since this is probably the best art of the lot. So it's like Vairina Expector. I actually don't mind, like, if I could ever get a copy of this, or actually I could just save the full art here and just plastered it on my computer or something, so maybe put it up on the wall. So yeah. The meteor thing could be a set order or markers like Redora. You put a meteor marker on a circle, retire the unit, and the circle can be chosen for a turn. And that would be a cool control mechanic also. For that actually, the Power Meteor, it could be a set order. I predict that it might still be a set order. But if they move away from the set order, I will actually be perfectly okay with it. Markers, I'm not so sure. But we will have to see. Yeah, we will have to see. Because it's very hard for me to really think up of what kind of mechanic the meteor mechanic is actually going to be. So, yeah. It seems like you should just buy the Dragon Empire Trident because it will get the support the most. So, not necessarily. You can still get the others, and you still be able to get something worthwhile still from DPT-02 and going forward to DPT-03 as well. So yeah, don't limit yourself to just Dragon Empire just because it seems to get the most or the most diverse one. No, everything is gonna get boosted. Everything will still get boosted. Even going to DPT-03, you still see boosts. Even though we're getting these new right lines, you're still gonna see boosts for all 10 right lines, all 12 right lines rather. All 12 right lines. And I think that even with the encounter cards, we're not getting new encounter cards in the sets, we'll still be able to see some things right that can actually boost for Blaster or something in Captain Century Dragon Empire that can actually be useful for the two encounter card right lines. So please don't limit yourself. Like, don't think that Dragon Empire, because Tiger is gonna get, no. Everything should be getting good stuff. And as you can see from what we talked about down here, which is this one over here, this new card they just released. This card is meant for Barrow Magnus, but I can use this for Bruce. So, yeah. Don't limit yourself. Don't think that Dragon Empire is just going to get the best. No, everything is getting something. Everything is getting something. So, yeah. Lou says, sorry, I just needed to get a drink. I gotta stay hydrated as always. Yes, always hydrate, people. Get that water. So, yeah. Rin says, I don't know if I should get an SP version of each Vairina to see the full art of it, but I like the Overdress border. So, yeah, the Overdress border is really neat also. Opponent sees before Fighter Rush, she's just guarding them menacingly. Yeah. That's the way that I play. That's the way that I will play. If I could guard, I will guard. If I don't have to guard, I will go full force. So yeah. Mori says that all start decks will be supported in each of the booster set. Yes, that is said by the producers themselves. The producer literally said that all the start decks, at least the main right lines, from the start decks are supposed to remain relevant for a very long time. They won't. I think even in DPT-03 they'll not abandon it. I can actually see maybe DPT-04 might be the case, but I think going into DPT-04 it would still be the case going forward because of the timeline they put below that the cards from DPT-01 and cards from the start decks are still going to be relevant. So please do not limit yourself. So if I will go for budget deck, which should I get, Bruce or Bastion? If you have to define budget now, because if you mean budget as in just limiting yourself to rares and commons, you can go either way because both of them still can get something worthwhile that you can actually play with just based on commons and rares. If you're talking about a certain amount of money, there's no such thing. I've said this before. There is no such thing as a money budget deck anymore because you can still get something worth a damn with a budget deck and still be able to compete on a competitive level. Like, if you limit yourself to just $5, start deck, $3.99, done. Then after that, you just get a couple of cards from a couple of double R's, like say you take Bruce. You just get yourself Eden, which won't cost you a lot, like probably $1, $2. So $2, put in Eden over there. Some of the common cards in there as well, put it in there. you still have a very decent, strong deck that can actually play. So, in my opinion, when it comes to Overdress, right, money budget is no longer a thing. If you're talking about rares and commons, that is still a thing, and you can still make something decent out of it. So that's my take. Do you think that they're going to introduce budget decks after DBT03 or after we shift from the start decks or so? If you mean commons and rares again, then I think that I think it won't shift, because I think those cards will still remain relevant after the fact. So it still remain relevant after the fact. So imagine your grade 2 is secretly support Mafia Dino. So you mean this one? Like, it could it could if it actually uses the thing. So while they will deal with everything eventually. So yes, they, because of the 3-month gap that they actually put in between DBT or between the booster sets, it actually gets a lot of time to actually balance the main game itself. And the main game needs to be as balanced as possible, so that power creep isn't a problem, so that older cards don't become obsolete immediately after the next boost comes out. You know, at least the important ones, at least. Then so on and so forth. So and eventually, if you went from the start to at the end of it, right, you probably will have a blinked out deck that's full of triple R's and double R's in your deck, and that's the way that it should go, and it come from all the sets going forward. So yeah, after the DB3, there'll be one new start deck. Yes, there will be a new start deck because it's starting season 2, and it's actually going to be a new character's start deck. So we don't know what it is or so, but we will have to see what season 2 Overdress is actually going to do. So Blaze Maiden beat up deck also. Yeah, Blaze Maiden beat up deck will actually be considered a budget deck, because you will play mainly with the Blaze Maidens, as much Blaze Maidens as possible, and the one that actually pumps power, if you have Reno or Rayo on the field. So it is possible to do that. So some OP cards are rares and commons. Yeah, exactly. So I spent 400 ringgit on office deck and another 400 for jail and office playset for BTU2, and I will be poor. So Ash, please do make sure that you watch out for yourself. So do not do not overtax yourself. They are fun games, but the cards are still all gonna be there. If you can't purchase them at this point in time, they're all still gonna be there. So do not worry. Just make sure you take care of yourself. That'll be my advice to you. Budget decks like in V, a little archetype inside the nation. Like we have the main triple R boss, and we were like one rare or rare with a different playstyle. Yep. So Cap likes he plays on his blink deck. I don't blink my deck, man. I don't blame my deck. You still think I could top with a trial deck? I never said that you could top with a trial deck. I'm just saying that it's not. I'm just saying, right, that you shouldn't limit yourself based off of certain situations. If you want to play, if you want to top if you want to top tournaments, right, you would no longer look at a trial deck anymore. You will be looking to min-max your deck as much as possible, and that is counterproductive to the questions that you've been asking. So while I'm not saying that what I say is that you have a competent deck. You don't have a crap deck that we used to have back in the day. You have a competent deck that you can still play with and you can still compete with. Topping it, that depends on your luck, because the game is still half luck. But when it comes to if your goal is to be competitive, building a budget deck is not the route that you want to go. You want to min-max your deck as much as possible. So yeah. DBT01, yes, after DBT2, I don't know, maybe. So, good morning, CVGS. Good morning to you, Adis. Welcome. So, yeah. Let's bring us to the main news. Oh, one more thing that they added on as well. I guess I should cover this. We also got to look at Matcha and Karam, because we should take a look at what they will do with in Premium also. Guys, if you want counters, final Drive +1. This unit can attack from the back row. Dark Knight, Abyssal Dark Knight, Final Rush. These counters are actually coming in DBT03 along with the clamp arts for Sarah Snow as well as for Magnolia as well. So some things that you can really look forward to in there. So me enjoys building casual decks. Also me beats half the locals like Misaki. So that's the way. Next week we'll have news about the V Premium as well. Yes, and also next week's news is actually we're starting to learn more about the V Premium cards. Although it's supposed to be Monster Strike, but I think we might get both coming out at the same time. So it will be the review of the DSR in DBT02, which is for Bastion as well as for Violence Bruce, as well as for the V Clan collection. So we'll see Think Saver Dragon and the Royal Parting cards, their skills info next week. So something good to look forward to from there. I understand what you're saying. I'm just wondering what's your view on topping with a trial deck. So, okay, viewing with a top of trial deck, right? It really takes it would take a bit of luck, but the deck is completely functional. The deck is completely functional. It would catch a lot of people by surprise that you are able to top with a trial deck, but your chances are not very strong. It can be done. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It can be done. The chances of it, not very high. But I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. So yeah. Seekers, if they are going in reverse order reviews, like Kaiser would be last. So that would make Different Fight a bit mad. Chris will be a bit mad about that. So, but I think that they will go in whatever order that feels comfortable for them. So they do have, how many weeks do we have until then? So we have next week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we in September? 11, 12, 13. Actually 12. So 11 actually. So there's actually 10 weeks. So they will probably be wrapping this up at it. So because there are 10 weeks between now and the release of the weekend collection. So they will probably there'll be 10 weeks of reviews starting from next week. And they'll probably be wrapping up as they get closer to the day, along with adding on with reviews for Monster Strike and then for Lyrical Monasterio afterwards and so on and so forth. So it's gonna be a very busy few weeks. So yeah. Immortal Flamebait, hey, I think that's a new name. Welcome to the stream. So, I recently got second place in locals after going 3-1 with a Bastion start deck before Hexa Ops. Beat 2 Office, a Magnolia, and lost to a Barra Magnus. So, Rin says in the Bishop Spring Fest, there are actually a lot of people bringing the trial decks to play. So, that's the beauty of it. So, that's the beauty of things. Do you think Eugene will ever be a good deck? Eugene is a good deck. Eugene has always been a good deck. It's just meme to shits because of how lackluster it feels compared to everything else. We're guilty of that as well. But if we really take a look at the full deck in full, right, and as well as how versatile that people will try to do to make it better, it's getting up there. And I don't know how much impact we will see for the Eugene build come DBT02, but I think the only way that Eugene can go is up. A lot of people slept on Zorga. A lot of people slept on a few other like non-high-end decks or so. But look at the boost that they get in DBO2 is now pretty significant, and a lot of people are actually paying attention to those decks, Eugene included as well. So it's already, to answer your question, it's already good, but I think it's gonna get better as we go along. So yeah. 10 weeks, what can you do in 10 weeks? Report on the news every week and do a recap video every week. That's what I would do. So Eugene and Hexa will probably get supports in DBT03 since Catastrophe and Dragon Empire doesn't have any new right lines taking space. So yeah, we could see a more significant amount of support for Eugene as well as for Hexa Ops Sorceress in DBT03. So yeah, that's actually a very, very good point that Vimero brought up. So Rin says it can be done, you just need to know how to use the start deck to maximum potential to top for the tournament. So yeah, that, and also a lot of so we need to understand what the pure draw deck really can do. Of course there will be certain things they want to swap out here and there. So but if you really have to go in with a draw deck, you can get far. You could possibly reach the top, but it takes luck. Half the game is luck after all. So in DBT02, Zorga and Prison got a lot of good support. Yeah, that's what I mean. Sarah Snow and Zorga actually got a lot of good cards. In fact, Office actually got a lot of good cards as well, and it's looking to be much better now that they're using the Shadow Army tokens as resources for Office. I'm actually pretty interested. I'm actually pretty interested to see where Office will actually go. Would you say that we're going to get new right lines in Booster Set 5 for Cathay Century and Dragon Empire? Well, those haven't been announced yet. But I think that at some point in time, they might actually introduce new right lines. And, start off, not say a new season, but going to 2022, it'll be like a fresh new set. So, yeah. We might see new right lines for all 5 of them. But it's hard for me to really predict and see where things will go in 2022. Right now, we just need to get past 2021 first. So, and that involves DBT04 first. So we gotta see what the new season, what the new start deck, and what the new season is actually gonna do before we even consider whether if we are gonna be seeing new right lines. Hell, if there's no new nations, for the 6 start deck, and it's gonna get boosting in the next set, you know, DBT03, wait, DBT04 might actually introduce another right line for, like, say, another nation, maybe for Kenta Sanctuary, since those or Kenta Sanctuary, or maybe for Dragon Empire, whichever is the opposite that didn't get it. So it's hard to predict at this point in time. Really, the only people that really know would be Mori-san. So we probably will have to wait and see where that goes from there. So yeah. Right, quick look at the matcha as well as the Charon cards for the Shadow Paladin right line. So matcha, when this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle with a Vanguard Blaster in its card name, this unit gets plus 5k power until the end of the turn. Then you can pay additional Soul Blast 1, retire one other Vanguard to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, then choose up to grade 1 or lower unit, call it the Vanguard circle, and shuffle your deck. So when it attacks, it gets plus 5k. Then you can choose to Soul Blast or retire another Vanguard, and then you can look at top 5 card, call another grade 1 or lower unit. So this one gives you a, maybe like if you don't have a booster behind somebody, you can actually use it to get another booster out. After, say, your Vanguard attacks, so on and so forth. But this is like a very classic matcha skill, minus the whole retire other Vanguard, because I think that part is new. Then Black Sage Charon. So when this unit is placed on Vanguard circle, if you have a Blaster Vanguard, you can rest this unit to look at the top card of your deck. If it's a unit card, you may call it the Vanguard circle. At the end of the turn, retire that called unit. If you did not call, place it back to the top of your deck. Okay, so if you look at the top card, then you can choose to leave it at the top of your deck if it's something that you want to keep over there. Oh wait, shouldn't this be revealed and not... Hang on now, let me just read the terminology. Oh, I think it's you have to reveal, so it's not look at. I think you have to reveal, so your opponent will know if the top card is a trigger if you decide to leave it on top. So, but yeah, this card actually, but basically this card rests this unit, so this is an ideal target for Phantom Blaster Dragon and also for Maha as well. So you retire this unit, and you can also retire the unit that you called down as well. Since that unit is gonna be retired, so you might as well just get rid of it at some point. Call it out using, call out a Blaster Dark, and then you can retire the unit in order for it to get plus 1 drive, plus 5k as well. So yeah, this is actually a really good set of cards for Shadow Paladin. Lots to look forward to. Lots to look forward to. So hey Rin, thank you for thank you. Wait, we have to wait for the alert from there. But yes, new member, thank you Rin. I have to add your name now into the recap video. So but thank you so much for joining our membership. Thank you so much. Yeah, look, they have to introduce new right lines at some point or so, but the other problem is we don't know when they will be coming. I'd rather it be later rather than sooner, because I think we still want to play around with the 12 and later 15 right lines first. Like we want to have those breathe a little bit before new right lines comes in. So I feel like Cardfight Vanguard Nation system reminds me of Buddy Fight. Well, Buddy Fight and Vanguard under Bush Road. So yeah, still quite easy. There we go. That's the alert right there. So thank you so much, Rin. Thank you so much. Wow, I didn't expect this long. So yes, and now you have access to our meme emotes and badges, and you can use them during our live streams and also our premieres. So thank you so much, Rin. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Be sure to make sure to name drop you in the recap videos going forward. So thank you so much. So yeah, I'm just excited to see how diverse all the different deck builds are going to be in set 2 releases. So I don't think we have ever had this much diverse deck building in Vanguard for a very long time. Yes, exactly why me and Leon on day 1, when we heard that Overdress is new format and they're removing all the nations. Once they say they're removing all the nations and they're actually removing all the clans and making them all into nations, that makes us so excited, because the possibility of deck building immediately opens up. It opens up like a chest cavity. I don't know what's a better way to put it. So it opens like a book. There we go. It opens up like a wide book, and then you can actually build your deck with as many cards from within the nation as possible to build something that is straight good for you. And while it may look like there may be different play styles, different ways to play, for all the different cards as you go into the booster set, you can still combine and pick and choose like how much of it do you want from each set and build something that is so comfortable towards you. So yeah, that's the beauty of Overdress right now, and one of the things why I was initially very excited for Overdress when they first announced that it's going to be a thing. So yeah. Vimero says that I think they're going to follow a pattern after DBT02. 3 right lines in BT03, BT04 will have 2 for the remaining ones, and then revive. Honestly speaking, I think DBT04 should not have any new right lines. It may seem like it's breaking the trend, but to introduce new right lines, right, will mean that it's very difficult for the newer right lines, these 3. It will make it very hard for these 3, right, to really have some breath, to really like have some good breathability space in terms of them actually showcasing. So I think if they took a break in DBT04 with new right lines, I think that would be perfectly fine, and they can actually focus DBT04 to be a set that boosts everything significantly, and not something that seems a little half-assed or something that's a bit more assed. But because of the fact that we gotta introduce the new right lines, we're gonna give them specific cards from there. I think that DBT04 should be a booster where there's no new right lines, and then they just focus primarily on boosting all 15 straight. Maybe not the encounter cards, but all 15 to 13 straight from there. So I think that'll be a lot more better. That'll be a lot more better than it would be to introduce new right lines in every set, because I think that would kind of like limit the idea of or rather like for these cards to actually get some breathability space to actually really stand toe to toe with everything else that has significant builds throughout all the times that they went in, and then going on from there. So they want to get them onto an even gap. So I just want them to have the new right lines. Since the 3-month, I just want them to have new right lines. Since the 3-month gap doesn't make things exhausting. So yes, but of course, introducing right lines way too often, right, will actually might exhaust some people. I would feel very exhausted if that was the case. But so I think that DBT04 might actually be better if it's just no right lines and they just boost everything. So yeah. Hi Edric, how's it going? So can we please get a Chrono Jet in Overdress? Wait until 2022, March 2022. Because there's no new encounter cards. There's not gonna be any new encounter cards until March 22. Until March 22, they've already said it about they already said that about the encounter cards when they first announced it. So they didn't want to make this a regular thing. I don't know. They're breaking this thing that like you can make a deck in every booster. I don't know. Doesn't sit right as also. But yeah, Chrono Jet is gone, but it can come back as encounter cards. These encounter cards are visions of the past, so we can't see. We may be able to see Chrono Jet. In fact, I think for Dark States, I think it would more likely be Chrono Jet that would be the encounter card for that. Encounter cards could be Asha for Stoicheia maybe, and then Brandgate we possibly could see Chaosbreaker. We could possibly see Chaosbreaker. I feel exhausted for thinking about Riots. Exactly what I mean. Blitz, if you're not aware, after the fall of Gize, right, the Zodiac Time Beast and Gear Chronicle completely lost all their abilities to perform Time Leap. So they ended up growing old and then they died out. So yeah, he disappeared with Gize. Yes, the law says that he disappeared with Gize. So yeah, Gear Chronicle is technically, or at least the Zodiac Time Beasts are no more. So according to the law, the Zodiac Time Beasts are actually no more, and the power of Time Leap is completely gone after Gize died, after they destroyed Gize. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with Luke, because I think that it's a little exhausting to think that these 15 right lines, there's already 15 right lines now with DBT02 and DBT03 having these 3. So I kind of wish that DBT04 would actually be like no new right lines and then they just boost everything along. I don't want them to have 24 different builds. I'd rather have like 15 builds, then they all get stronger at one point, rather than just introduce more and more with every booster set, because I think that'll be completely exhausting. So V is still a thing though. We're getting Chronos Command for Jet. Yeah, Chronos Command is coming for V series, so Chronojet is still there, and yeah, Chronos Command coming for Chronojet Dragon, and we'll play with Chronojet Dragon. So yeah, it's all in the lore. It's in the Japanese lore website, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's in other sources. I think it's in other sources, but you can search it out. It should say that. So, what is that music in the background? You mean me saying right now? Because that's not supposed to happen. Give me a second. I kind of implemented a thing whereby now my room is playing lo-fi beats. So yeah. Yeah, I agree. Maybe 1 or 2 right lines every other set from here on out would be good pacing for me. So if they do introduce new right lines, I hope that they will slow down at some point. I really hope that they will slow down at some point. Because I think it's a little exhausting right now to think that there are now 15 right lines coming out. Even though it's 3 per nation, but I rather it just keep to 3 per nation rather than the number go up from there. Like if you want to introduce right line, maybe make it 1 at a time, so it's a slow build. And also I think it'll be difficult for Moray's team to actually boost, you know, to actually boost up like more and more right lines as they come along. So I think if they stop at 3 for a short while, I think that'll be better. And then when you know a new season comes out, when they come out with a new season, there in like the new year, then they can kind of like introduce a new right line, and then you know they will boost up from there. Like give us a break, much better. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's probably the lo-fi beats also, because I don't know how that leaked through. It's supposed to be very very soft. But anyways, yeah, more towards my point of saying that more towards my point, DBT04 should have no new right lines. Because I think they should boost up the 15 first before they even think about introducing new ones. And we go for that as well. Plus we didn't even consider the Lyrical right lines too as well. While Lyrical Monastery is not part of the main series, it's an off series. And that one is not going to get any boost until the next year. And you're never going to see them in the DBT, in the D-booster sets. So yeah. That one is just only for that particular time, and then next year we'll get another one. Or maybe like 6 months down the line we'll get another one. So yeah. So when Chrono defeated him, that means Chronojet died. Disappeared, poof. Because I think when they eliminated Gize, I think they removed themselves. They ended up removing themselves from the future where they came from. Like, it's not how time travel works, but yeah, the idea is that they're supposed to disappear. So I don't feel exhausted with new stuff, but with old stuff I kind of tired of these 10 already. So I was watching the fires VBT 08. Well, if that's how it is, so but then you know. I hate to see things being left behind. Like at least not to the point whereby they just show up once and then call it a day, and then you don't see anything for them for months later. I rather they all be significantly boosted first, and then you introduce new stuff down the line. Maybe a new version of Sarah Snow, maybe a new version of all the start decks and new versions of Office. Like instead of boosting, giving us new right lines, they give us improved right lines. So like you know, they have the 5 new start decks again, and then after that DBT 01 will have like Office and everything else also all in there, but improved versions of the units, and maybe like say a new like completely 100% new meta, like the power creep can come in from that point in time. So yeah. I think that would be yeah, Booster 5 set should have new right lines. I'm okay with Booster 7 having new right lines. I'm not okay with DBT 04 having new right lines. I think they should make sure that there's a significant boost for everything first, and then when they want to bring the power creep up, then what they can do is they can reintroduce the new start decks, 5 start decks, and then DBT 01 will have the other 5 right lines, and then the cycle continues. The cycle repeats again. Seems like a good idea to make new bosses for all right lines. So yeah, because I think what might happen down the line more likely is that the current right lines that we know right now, right, will get improvements in like say the new year. In 2022 they get new improvements. Rather than we introduce new right lines and so on and so forth. So the prison system, the overdress system, the final rush and all that, right, will come back will come back fresher and newer with a new established power creep. So I think that'll be the best and most tactful way of handling things. So yeah, seems like good. Yeah, that's probably how it's gonna be after new right lines. The next set to supporting it and few the older ones as well. Yeah, I don't like the idea of the older ones actually just having less and less, because I think everything should have a good amount of boosting. While they did introduce a few right lines later on, so they'll get more significant focus rather than the older ones. So to your point, I would hate to see, if DBT04 has no new right lines, I would hate to see like Bruce or what you call it? I would hate to see Bruce. I would hate to see Baramagnus or Greedon actually get a significantly less like power boost, boosting in DBT02. Sorry, DBT04, because you know Greedon, because Greedon and other stuff all needs the more significant boost to catch up. But yeah, I think that'll be a good way to actually like bring the game, slowly bring the game up to a higher level, and also keep people's hypes into things as well. But yeah, I think that's a debate for more people than me. I would say. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have to power creep those 10 somehow. We just can't keep supporting them forever as much as we want to. Yeah, I don't see these guys being supported forever. Not for the 10-year plan. I think there's going to be new versions of them. And it could happen as early as next year with DBT05. So yeah. For Character Century Line, we'll love it to be a Gold Paladin. If they introduce an Overdress version of it, it might be the case. Yeah, probably DBT05 also. So unfortunately, you might only see next year. But that's for like DBT06 or something. I don't know. So yeah, DBT05, DBT06. Whatever is in the next year, whatever is in the year 2022. I think that'll be a good time to actually establish a new meta, you could say, because from March to now and for the rest of the year, it's the year of Overdress. And we can call this like year 1. So maybe year 2 of Overdress, like say maybe from March 2022, there'll be like new right lines. There'll be, there'll be new right lines, or rather improved versions of the right lines from the year 1 Overdress, and then they'll kick off year 2, and then it'll go forward from there. So I think that's how they might do it. So in my opinion, I think that's how they might actually do it. So yeah. Everybody's all going off right now, so in the time that I've been talking, which is about 1 hour plus, everybody's just talking. It's good to see. It's good to see. If you guys haven't yet, do be sure to join our Discord server, which you can find in the description box below. You guys can actually join over there, join in the conversation, have a chat with everybody else, myself included as well, and just be sure to be nice, follow our rules. That's all. Right. I still wish the cards supporting the right lines were related to the old clans. Like all units that use Final Rush should be Spike Team. So, I mean, you can expect some cross promotion. I like the idea that we got Marjorie be part of Final Rush, because I like the idea of like while they all will be football themed, but or Sprite Brothers team, you can say that also. But there's they can introduce these other types of units that seems to be from different clans back in the day, be part of the Final Rush mechanic. So I like to see that diversity. But I have to go. Thank you very much for joining us, Blitz. I appreciate it. So appreciate you joining up. Ash says, want to see more cool arts that I hope more. So yeah, arts has been fantastic. So arts have all been very, very fantastic. So yeah, I think we'll continue to see more cool artworks going forward, and not just for the aces, but also for the new, also for like other units as well. Like I pointed out Mabel. I 100% pointed out Mabel. So yeah, I don't know, it's just a gripe that I have. I don't like mixing clans as well. Well, Overdress is all about mixing. Overdress is all about mixing, because currently right now I have a whole bunch. It's all a whole bunch of Sprite Brothers combined with like some Dargon, some weird ass Dargon for protection, and then you get Gear Chronicle units in there that's actually not football themed. And as I mentioned, and as I mentioned, like Masri, it's an aesthetic thing. So I get that it's an aesthetic thing. So but it all pays forward to what the deck does. Just feels strange like that. Like Zorga can have new nectar units just sitting there. So just because you're an edgelord doesn't mean you can't have that one. You can't have that one girl in pink. Can't remember buy 4 copies of SP Mabel. No, I will not buy 4 copies. I did tell Leon I will get whatever if he opens any SP Mabels, I will buy it off of him. So I'll get one. 4, no. Not unless I'm able to get them for cheap. So yeah. I'd say if they're all one clan for deck type, it'd be useless to have nations. Yeah, correct. It's fair to maybe feel weird, but it also feels a refresh. I say, yeah. There are two sides to the coin. So every edgelord needs a waifu by their side there. Yeah. So opposites attract. That's the saying right there. Opposites attract. You always get conflicts with people who are complete opposites of each other because they're always butting heads with ideas. Then yeah lah, you can have an edgelord like Zorga. He might actually have a bright and cheery wife. There was a story out. I remember this story coming out because if you guys know who Tim Burton is, and if you guys know who Helena Bonham Carter is, those two got married, and basically their bedrooms. Helena's room is basically like sunshines and rainbows, whereas Tim Burton's room is just pure goth, pure black and gothic. So opposites attract. So at least it's play well in the real world. It has a real world like sense from there. So yeah. All right. So, do keep your questions in. I'm not going to go off anytime soon. So, if you guys have any questions or you guys have any theories you guys want to bounce off, feel free to send them in. I will not go off any sooner. We'll just take a look at our Twitter. Nice. And in case you guys aren't aware, on Twitch right now, we actually set up a community challenge. Rin knows this very well. A few others also know this as well. We have a community challenge. Whereby if you guys collectively donate channel points, 20,000 channel points to our Twitch channel, I will do a 6-hour stream of Resident Evil Remake. And the reason why I made that as a community challenge is because I suck at survival horror. So if you guys want to see that, do be sure to donate from there. And then Leon has now the bright idea of actually putting me up to play the re-release for Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater, and I'm like, no, do not put me in there. So yes, can I go contribute? You should be able to. I think if I'm off stream, you should be able to contribute. You just need to go to the channel, go to the chat, and after that I think you should be able to pay the points from there still. So yeah. Alto Orange made a thread with unpopular opinions. Why not read that? Oh yeah, we should read that actually. We should read that. That's a good idea. Tim Burton is Tim Burton, don't you explain? Yep. No. Edric is like, no. So yeah. Yeah, let's actually take a look. Because Outer Orange did have that thread. We should take a look. She's doing a video on it, so I actually don't want to take too much thunder away from her. But guys, if you haven't yet, do be sure to give Outer Orange a follow. We had her on last week as a guest, and you know she's such like a ray of sunshine, you could say. It's so nice to actually have her on. I hope to have her on again sometime soon. But yeah, do give her a follow and follow on her YouTube channel. Give her a subscribe there. Give her a follow on Twitch as well. Yeah, she does streams and such, so do be sure to give her a follow. Where is that thread? So. Oh, her unpopular opinion. I want certain names to work well with old cards and new cards like magia abilities or celestial types and archetypes. I also want archetypes that are dead to come back. Dual harmony is next. So, not really an unpopular opinion from me. But in terms of like boosting and such, or rather like cross, like cross skills, the closest thing that we're gonna get with something like that is probably Raptoria Riser. For the V-Clan collection, like you know, it allows like units to be considered as risers or you know, so on and so forth from there. Same thing here lah. So like give something unique, you know, with the name Magia doll in there. So yeah, not a big deal from there. So where is that thread? Because it's been a while since you actually posted that. So this is the last week's live stream. Toko Dayo. Oh yeah, actually it's right up there. So alright, Leon, I just wanted to stop doing random things and things to a client, resulting them in not being able to work with everything else, and then proceed to never fix them ever again. Every time they do that, I just feel like I wasted money and would fling somebody out the window. Why not? Why Resident Evil Remake and not Alien Isolation? That is anxiety. I don't have Alien Isolation. That's why I put Resident Evil Remake. So yeah. The thread was like, yeah, I'm blind. So the thread was right there. When I go to chat, it says available in the chat. Oh, it's only available when it's live. Oh, okay. Yeah, then I will probably do a stream I'll probably do a stream tomorrow evening. Yeah, so you can actually contribute the channel points from there. So maybe that's why I also put it like a month. Like you have 30 days to do it. So I think that one's a good benefit for everybody. So yeah, so this is Leon's, and this is not Mega Colony or Genesis player, although those people can relate. This is actually referring to Narukami and to how Vanquisher within Vanquisher do not make sense towards each other. Like the cards from, like, especially if you try to play premium and Vanquisher, the G era Vanquisher does not play well with the V series Vanquisher, and you can't take the V series Vanquishers and put them into V and call it a day, because every of the other support in G series do not support the new way, which is completely dumb, and that's where the source of this is coming from. Sorry if I haven't commented much. Internet lag is bad. No worries, Andrew. No worries. I hope your internet is actually getting better. So another guy, make sure to watch the stream to contribute the points. Yeah, I'll probably will do a stream tomorrow after the release of the recap video, after the release. So they are so good in V. They are good in V. They're good, but Leon has struggled very, very much. You're trying to build a full premium deck for Vanquisher. Nothing succeeding. Nothing is really succeeding. And this is kind of like where the source of this is. So, and that's where you have the picture. Oh, I up terribly. So yeah. Ironically, Kagero and Narukami player, yeah. Now, Kagero has a bit of it as well. Kagero also has a bit of it as well. But mainly this is sourced from Narukami. So, oh, imagine Tachikaze is completely unmixable. Yeah, exactly. So, Life is Rachel, so somebody that we've seen a lot of messages from, because she's the resident salt. Life is Rachel, this account is the resident salt player for it. Putting me on the spot, I think PGs and heals are useless with Corey, Maelstrom, Dai Kaiser, Simbuster, Echo of Harmony, Novell, Silent Tom around. So yes, they are, but that's what makes those particular decks actually much more powerful. Like, the only reason why they are as good as they are is because they have these abilities. If you take these abilities away, everything else about them sucks. So that's the counterbalance. So that's really the counterbalance from there. Premium Vanquisher, V Vanquisher, main deck plus G Zone equals done. No, it's harder than you think it is. It's harder than you think it is. And Leon will give you the whole entire essay about it. So he can give you a full essay about it. So is Leon having trouble looking for the cards he needs for the deck? No, he has all the cards. But nothing seems to mesh. So nothing seems to mesh. There's an order where we can pre-order festival collection singles. Haruki, if you live in Singapore, there should be quite a number of people that actually might be selling the singles through apps like Carousel and so on and so forth. If you're outside of Singapore, it will probably be places like TCG Player and such. Although I would say you probably should hit up sites like 50 cards, because I think 50 cards they do shipping, and while it may take them a while, especially with the delays that they receive, but you should be able to get your singles from there. So yeah, give me a DSA and persuade me. I'll tell Leon. But it's not as simple. I had this conversation with Leon before. I've seriously had this conversation before. I thought it was V plus G Zone equals done. No, it's more complex than that. And I have fought against that deck. It's very difficult. So it's very, very difficult. So Kage, resist was a mistake. Yes. Resist was a mistake. So resist was a mistake. That card shouldn't have resist. Every other unit in D has resist only. That has resist only has resist. Cards that will still be played and used without resist. Yes, I agree that resist is a bit of a mistake. Because while I understand the need to actually protect a few cards, but it wasn't applied in the best way. It really wasn't applied the best way. So when Vairina first came out, I mixed it with a bit of GO cards and worked quite well. So I need that. So I need that. Say, I'll tell Leon. So I feel, yeah, I agree. Resist was a bit of a mistake. I can agree with this. Because it wasn't really applied to a lot of significant cards, and the cards that did apply to this, didn't end up lasting as well. It ended up not being one of the most significant. People just played without resist and called it a day. So yeah. Silverton Hero Curly. I don't like how it's only until like maybe set 18, speaking Vanguard 0, where you actually see variants in deck builds, since there is really only one way to run a deck. Also, too many clans and too many effects that are xenophobic with other cards that discourage mixed matching. Well, it is fixed in Overdress, so it has been fixed in Overdress, but this was a way to differentiate the different builds. It's kind of like how we're getting the three different right lines now for each nation. And yeah, I mean, in terms of like deck mixing and such, it is a bit more on the difficult end, unless they are more universal. But there were too many clans. 24 was too many clans, I feel so. If you think that's complex, you should try and solve the Millennium Puzzle. So I think it'll be easier. So 50 cards only sell English version cards, if I'm not wrong. So are you playing Japanese or English versions? If I believe you're asking for English, because Japanese, it just say pre-order. So pre-order indicates that you're playing English. So it will take you a while, but you can pretty much go to 50 cards. I can vouch for 50 cards also, especially seeing how they've been doing business and such. So yeah, we're still setting up stuff on our end. So we don't actually have our physical card shop just up and running, so we can't take orders yet. But sometime soon we will be able to. So, what are the cons and pros between English version and Japanese version? The Japanese version, the pros is that you get to play the stuff earlier. You actually have a bigger player base to actually play with, depending on your location. And you can enter into a lot more. You can enter into some of the tournaments a bit more earlier as well. The cons is there's a lot of people, and you do have to be able to read Japanese. So that is the cons of Japanese version. English, right, back in the day, but I think it's less so at this point in time. English, right, you actually had not as good card quality as compared to the Japanese version, so your cards actually has the potential to deteriorate even further. So you actually have to invest more in protecting your cards, especially for collection as well. The pros is that you do have while it is a smaller knit community, but it's a more united community. So you actually have a lot more of a friendlier player base. You actually have a lot more of a friendlier player base, and everybody kind of like knows each other. So you can actually kind of like really unite with the regular community quite easily. So yeah. If you live in Europe, use package and use different 5 for discounts at checkout also. Yeah, you probably have to check where it is first before you put up like promo screen. So D-Era English cards are thinner and softer, so yeah, Aegis can vouch for that also. So you do need to care for your cards in English a lot more than you would in Japanese, but you would have a much better online experience, or a much better competitive experience. You also have a very good community that everybody kind of knows each other quite well, and yeah, you can read the cards. You can read the cards. So I would say only if you want to play like if you want to get into Japanese, right, the language barrier will be one thing, so you'll constantly have to keep checking, or you gotta memorize the way to read cards or memorize the skills by heart in order to play them. But you will be able to play them early, and you would be able to experience a more diverse player base. But of course, the language barrier can also be a problem as well, especially if they are not natively speaking English. So yeah. Cap, it's Chris promo. Haha, he keeps promoting, so I remember it, but I don't live in Europe, so I won't use it. So yeah, I know. I can tell by different 5 that it's Chris's promo. But yeah, I mean, as much as as much as he's our senpai and all that also, but if at some point we have our own promos, we probably should not. We probably can't try to promote other people once. So But it's fine. It's fine. It's a minute issue. So it's a minute issue. Oh, and one more big pro. So you get the best misprints in English. Yes, that's actually a pro. That's actually a pro. In English, you get the best misprints ever. So in terms of card collectability, especially for misprints, you can actually hold on to those cards, and then after that resell it because this is considered misprint. It can become a collector's value item. not unless they retcon the card in like future re-releases or so. But I consider that to be a pretty big pro, so because that's hilarious. I'm pretty curious. What would you prefer, English or Japanese? I would prefer to read English, but I would like to play Japanese. I have been playing Japanese for all of my Vanguard time. So throughout my entire time of playing Vanguard, I've only ever played Japanese, and I've gotten good at reading the skills. So like I've been able to read how the skills act out. That's how I'm able to do translations as we do our Tuesdays live streams. But yeah, I would prefer to play English just to make sure that that I'm able to remember things a lot more easily. But I rather have the cards from the Japanese side, so I would stick with Japanese. Once you have your own promo, I will keep promoting CVGS promo, no problem. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. In Europe and US, English version is more popular, but in Asia, Japanese version is more popular. Yes, because I think Japanese cards didn't make it that far. Didn't make it past Asia. So they ended up, the first experience of Vanguard was actually English. And so they've only ever printed for US and Europe, they've only ever printed English cards and not that many other languages. So mainly you will find people in Asia actually play Japanese more because those cards are actually more easily available. And what we do have English here as well, because most people already play Japanese already, so they wouldn't double buy. They wouldn't buy a second deck in English. They either will stick with Japanese or English, and most people will stick with Japanese because they will get the newer cards out sooner. So yeah, it's mainly gated by region. So you can get Japanese cards, but if you play in the English regions, there isn't much difference. Yeah, exactly. So although now, if they do, with the success of the Springfest Online, there might be some people that might be inclined to actually build both so that they can compete in the tournaments both in English, especially and also in Japanese as well. If they continue to have these kind of accessibilities for the rest of the world to be able to compete in different languages, I think that would actually kind of like really make the competitive scene really explode. It would be quite nice to see. In the past, Japanese is a thing in Australia, in Melbourne also, but watch English starts to grow before the shift occurred. So yeah, it was also the case for Australia. Aegis is right on that. It was the case for Australia that they played Japanese, but then once English come out, they only start with English, and it makes sense because not a lot of people in Australia actually read and comprehend Japanese. So yeah, I think Japanese versus English cards is more of a debate in regions closer to Asia. Yeah, it's more of a debate here. But I've listed the pros and cons. I've listed you the pros and cons. English, you have a more tighter and more well-known community. In Japanese, you get to play with the stuff that is announced first before anybody else. But like Brazil now, bro, English also, it's cheaper to import too as well. Yeah, because you would be getting your imports from up north, from the US side. So that's where you will be able to get your imports from there. Right. More hot takes. Echo, actually, I've been meaning to talk to Echo for a while. I kind of wish I had the opportunity to. So, but here we go. When it comes to new cards, people don't know what they want. One moment it's too much nostalgia, and the next it's Bushido doesn't support older archetypes, and on top of older play styles, premium is heaven, and the only archetypes that see mainstream success are those people willing to play. People have been very biased. Have very biased takes on how unsupported their old cards are, and all it takes is a bit of thinking outside the box to make things a la, Zodiac Time Beast, Time Leap, Ripple work in current premium. So I don't know if I got called out here because of how I talked about how I talked about Risers, but yeah, in terms of the Vanguard player base, people do need to not be very tribalistic about things. Oh, it's too much nostalgia pandering, or it doesn't support older archetypes. Like I spent 10 years I spent 10 years trying to figure out how to make Pulverizer a thing. Still a thing throughout Legion, throughout Strike, throughout throughout V series as well, with the new stuff as well. Like, I keep trying. I still try. I haven't come up with an answer yet, so I haven't been able to come up with an answer. But yeah, people do need to let go of like certain mentalities and just be more open and more accepting to what things are. So, you know, like, we give the example of the encounter cards. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's too much, it's already nostalgia pending too early. But as we've seen, even though it's nostalgia pandering, right, the cards actually doesn't seem to be any stronger. In fact, they are less stronger than the V series counterparts. So, you know, we gotta give more faith to the producers, to the developers, to make sure that they deliver. Excuse me. To make sure that they deliver on what they said they're gonna do, and that's to make Vanguard fun. So yeah. I do remember once I bought a Liberator of the Century trial deck on Amazon. I was hoping for English language version. When it arrived, I got a Japanese version. So, well, that's very odd. But you do gotta check that listing. So just make sure that you got the right language. So if you be both English and Japanese, I hope your wallet is surviving. Yeah, take care of yourself first before you do anything else. Which one is much more expensive between Japanese and English? It's actually English that's actually more expensive. English is actually more expensive. Philippines, both English and Japanese. So yeah, within Asia we should have both versions. I'd say that English might be more expensive, especially when it comes to post-market support. I mean, we've seen the nightmare that is called TCG Player. So cards might be a bit more expensive because they're a bit more scarce to find. Considering that not a lot of people are hitting the packs and actually selling and actually have a significant secondary market to really sell their cards. So especially cards that they are they are trying to cycle in and make money off of. So I'd say that English might be a bit more on the expensive side because of scarcity of cards. Japanese, you can get a lot of cards. You can get a lot of cards for like really low price. Like Eugene is still 50 cents. Sorry, Eugene is still considered a 50 yen card. But English were and like I think the recent example from last week with Outer Orange mentioned that how Zorga SP is like $40 in English, but our Japanese side SP Zorga is only like $4. So that kind of like really shows the difference in levels in terms of pricing capabilities. So I'd say English would be a bit more on the expensive end. So we're gonna try to do that for standard so far. So yeah, as Japanese meta is different from English meta. Some cards might be cheaper in Japanese but more expensive in English. So yeah, so me to cap. Yeah. That's why I play Vanguard, to have lots of fun and teach younger players how to play Vanguard in the future. Yeah, that's what I eventually started doing as well. Like after we stopped playing, after we stopped gunning to be to be in the competitive scene, we just kind of focus our energy more towards teaching and showing people just how fun Vanguard is. So that's kind of where we ended up in. And that's partially why this YouTube channel is also here, where it is. So, that's why I hope I can rely on you guys with English in the future. Yeah, hopefully we can do that. So, do you think English is worth it even though it's expensive? Yes, especially. I would not wish, or my worst enemy, I would not wish for them to suffer having to translate cards every single time that they want to play a game. Like, even if they committed to memory, it still takes a significant amount of time for them to actually commit to them. So if they're more comfortable in playing English, it's enough. It's enough to invest into English, because it's easier for them to understand the language. It's more fun that way, and they be able to get closer to have a more united community. They'll be able to find people, and just know and be able to play more regularly. They'll be able to find friends through Vanguard. In English a lot more better than English does. So rather Japanese does. So yeah, Zorga is now 66 market price in CG Player right away. So Japanese Big Web, I think, is still selling it for like 400 yen SP version. So, so yeah, don't quote me on that also, because that was the last I heard. But yeah, it is considered cheaper to build in Japanese, but you do have to get past the language barrier. But if you're willing to, or you have to because of budget constraints, then you still will have a very good time in Japanese. So you just gotta put in a little extra work. But for the easy reason of I just want to be able to read my cards, it's perfectly okay and a perfectly valid reason to go into English. And as long as you purchase your cards from official retailers and you also buy the boxes and maybe like buy in with slots with other people who are also buying from the same set, you should be able to get your cards on the relative on a relative cheaper end, rather than you going out to like buy singles from secondary markets and then just paying an exuberant amount for no reason. So yeah, if you're smart about how you get your cards, English can be considerably cheaper than Japanese, but the secondary market is where the difference really lies. So yeah, if you do get directly from the sets from your local retailers, you're perfectly fine. If you do have to go into buying singles from the secondary market, that's where the pinch is. That's where the pinch is. Yeah, that's why I've been wanting Spanish and Portuguese versions of Vanguard, so it's easier to form a community and attract new players as well. So hopefully they will do that also, because I think them reaching out to different languages is actually a really good move, and I hope they continue to do that as well. So, do you think Bauer Magnus got shafted from this set? No, not at all. Not at all. Vairina Magnus is already strong enough as it is from DBT 01, and this, I look at this card. This card is the triple R for Vairina Magnus. This is really good. This is actually really good. I don't think Vairina Magnus got shafted. I think it got better. And they have a lot more to play around with. So they can make sure that they not only maintain the soul count, but also give a lot of power to units, you know, to your units when they attack, before they get sucked into the soul, or before, you know, like stuff happens. And you know, you can play now as early as you can call on grade 2s. He soul charges when he attacks. That's a little more efficient than Vairina Magnus Counter Blast 1 Soul Charge 2. That has a little bit of efficiency. So I honestly don't think Vairina Magnus got shafted. Like, this card only just came out, or just only got announced earlier today, and I think this is a very good addition to Vairina Magnus. So shafted, no, I don't believe. Before Jira, I always played Japanese because I was able to memorize all the skills, and Singapore has more Japanese player base. But in Overdress, I decided to get English because I get to read the card skills rather than memorizing all the skills. So yes, in Overdress, I think a lot more people are playing Overdress in English. So to pick up Overdress in English is actually a pretty good move. Many here can't read properly or simply don't know English, so they don't even try Vanguard as well. So yeah, again, hopefully if they see there's a market for it, then they would do official translations. But we have to see. We really have to see. So Facebook groups, yeah, Facebook groups from there. So right, more popular opinions. So we'll keep going with this. I guess my opinion is that V and G should have bounced triggers, completely fair and balanced. This is more a shit take, but I don't care. I'm here to see other people's opinions. Nah, yeah, this is shit. So not gonna lie, her being able to bounce anything would have been so busted. Yeah, that would be very busted. So, Azo Senpai, until the next big premium ban list updates, tech innovation has taken a step back towards how to fight against the meta. That has been the case for a very long time. That has actually been the case for a very, very long time, honestly speaking. The nations looked a lot cooler than what clans originally used to look like. Actually, no. No, sorry. What I mean to say is that yes, I agree. Nations look a lot more cooler than what clans originally looked like, because I still feel a level of fatigue when thinking about 24 clans. When I think of 5 nations, I have a much easier time. Maybe I'm getting old, I don't know. But yeah, that is the case from there. Premium elitists are some of the most toxic people that are interactive. So just them being around makes me hesitant to pick up the format. This is true in Singapore. This is exceptionally true in Singapore. I wish this wasn't universal. I wish this was universal, maybe not to a certain extent. But here in Singapore, there is an elitist mentality in Vanguard, and that's pretty much why I steer clear off of competitive. So yeah, I can sympathize with this post actually. So I'm also a bit more efficient than Selfish and Graven needing to hit, but it's also dangerous later in the game if you're not keeping track of that count as well. Yeah, that's why the new card is actually pretty good as well. If they make Shadow Power SP and PT. Oh, I guess in BT. So if they make Shadow Party and Bermuda Triangles cards, they will probably get a distributor. Oh, Oh, if they make Spanish and Portuguese, sorry. It took me a while to do that. They probably get distributed for South America. That will help a lot with prices and where to buy cards. Yes, especially true. I actually didn't start playing Vanguard until I was in my second year of college, and I actually found out more fun and quicker than Yu-Gi-Oh, so I changed to Vanguard. So yes, Luke, you did mention this before. The importing stuff is the worst gate to the game. So one in your deck, wait, the only shop supporting it bring new cards or all import ones you can't get from players also. The latest was worse in the V versus Premium era. So yeah, it really was also. Yeah, Vanguard was way more fun than Yu-Gi-Oh. I can actually play with my cards and not wait for my opponent to make a 1,287,123 negate board. yeah, that's pretty much what turns me off of Yu-Gi-Oh from time to time, especially competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. So I feel like there's nothing to see with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. I honestly feel like there's nothing to see with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, back when I was playing active, aka before G era, I saw a lot of toxic people in the Edge community. Yeah, I was there too. I saw a lot of toxic people as well. I don't know about today, but when Alta Orange kind of says that you know, she's surprised that you know, she's surprised that you know, the community is actually quite friendlier, you know, a lot of good interactions in the online community. I think that's because of I don't know whether it's a change in times or so, but back then I've always remembered, at least here in Singapore, we have this tribal mentality and we do have this toxicity, which we are unable to get rid of because those players are still around. And so I'm not trying to call anybody out. No, I'm not like trying to defend or demonize people. That's not the intention here. But it just feels very unfriendly, especially to casual players, especially to new players. Like, you have to match their competitiveness in order for them to even like consider you to be somebody worthwhile. That's not like, you know, that's not the way that it should be. I feel like the way, like, the game is a game. We're supposed to enjoy. We're supposed to be open to each other, and we're supposed to be welcoming and understanding and you know, and just like help push the competitiveness between between both players and, you know, the community in general. And Singapore, unfortunately, last I checked, it may have changed now. So last I checked, it didn't have anything like that. So if you didn't have anything worth for them, nobody would pay attention to you. And so we have this group v group thing whereby, you know, there are people that actually groups, Vanguard groups out there that are actually waging war against each other. They're just trying to take each other out because they're trying to fight for team supremacy. Sorry, I saw a spec there. So they're trying to fight for like supremacy, and that's not the way that it should be. And you want to know what the funny thing is? I wish Dan was here so they can actually contribute to the conversation. You want to know what the funny thing about that is? Those teams that wage war on each other eventually died out because of their own inner conflicts. In fact, I would say, right, in terms of like teams, in terms of Vanguard teams, right, ours, CVGS, Crossbow Vanguards, is still the longest running one. We've been around for 10 years. And we've never had any sort of group implosion. We've never had any sort of beef with any other groups. Other groups you remember other groups for sure. But we here, Crossbow Vanguards, we here at CVGS will always be here because our efforts have been focused into other things. And other things includes the fun of Vanguard. And we've always played the game for the fun of the game and never for competitive reasons. We do go out there, we do compete. We are very strong players still through and through. In fact, our best player did reach like 4th in Springfest, or equivalent of the WCG, the World Championships. So he reached 4th locally here in Singapore. So yeah, and we're still going strong to this day. We've done it in a different approach, but we have always been welcoming of members and new players and just people who are there, because our selection process has never been about how good you are. It's about the kind of person that you truly are, and everybody here at CVGS is at least one of those people. So yeah. Backstory, history, how our process goes for here at CVGS. So yeah. Cap, what do you think about over triggers in standard as a whole? I love them. I love over triggers because they make the game so much more exciting. No, and if you're on the fence of it ruins the game because now the game becomes luck based, I don't know what you've been playing for the past 10 years, but Vanguard has always been half luck. It's always been about either manipulating the deck to make sure that the luck comes up, or you have the luck factor to save you from with a 6 damage heal, or to save you with the lucky critical that actually pushes your opponent too far. And Overtriggers is just an addition to that. So I get why people would want Overtriggers out of standard, but honestly, they make the game so much more fun. And I would enjoy seeing, I actually do enjoy seeing Vanguard today even more because of the threat of the Overtrigger. How would it come in? Whether it will come in at all? How would it change the dynamic of the game? We've seen one. We literally had a game whereby one check of the Overtrigger turned the game from 2 to 3. No, not 2 to 3. Turned the game from 2 to 1 to 4 to 0 because of one Overtrigger. And we've seen also somebody being saved by an Overtrigger as well. And those are worthwhile stories that you could tell other people or show to other people than it is for a game where you show a game of Vanguard and nothing happens. Nobody will get a kick out of it. So my stance on Overtriggers is that I love them. I would rather they stay. I can sympathize with people that don't want them to stay, but I hope they understand that the reason why the Overtriggers are in place is so that the game it becomes much more exciting. And it has been. It's done more good than harm. So yeah. Like someone said, Vanguard in general is more friendlier than other games, mostly because of the size, but the game feels more casual, you know, like even in competitive environments. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, I'm pretty unlucky to have met some toxic people in Singapore, which I'm pretty shocked about. So yeah. In a sense also, I kind of feel bad for some people that they encounter these toxic people, but then they have no other ways to kind of it. I've known quite a few number of people. I'm aware of a few people that actually have stopped playing the game because of the toxicity of the community. So it's really a shame to see people just not enjoy the game anymore because of the people that are around, you know, for them to enjoy this game. So we wouldn't say that we here at CVGS is more like a refugee kind of nation or group, but more so we're here to promote for the fun of the game. And so that's why we focus our attentions onto YouTube, because hopefully with YouTube here, with our 5 videos and everything, people can still continue to enjoy the game. And if they found, and because we are here in Singapore, if they are local people, if you guys are local people, you happen to come across us, you know that we can be people that you can actually approach, you can play with, you can enjoy, have a good time, and so on and so forth as well. Like, that's why I encourage you guys to actually just, if you guys really want to play some Vanguard and you want to play with us, you want to play with Leon, you want to play with them, so anybody else, like, come to our Discord and just ask us. Then we can arrange for a time and a date. Then we can actually have a game with you. If you guys want to have a game, we're happy to play them. I have my decks here. Like, I have V Premium, I have Premium, I have Standard, like, all sitting here on the side. If you guys want to have a game, feel free to let us know. Feel free to hit us up, and we will arrange for a time, and then we will be able to do that with you. So I highly encourage, just come to our Discord server. No matter where you are in the world. Now remote fight is really a good thing right now. Wherever you are in the world, you can actually have a game with us if you really, really want to. So yeah. Right, where was I? Yes, we had some really toxic players, like actually worst people I've seen. Thankfully, they stopped playing since we started to ignore them, so they went back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, a lot of those toxic players actually used to come from Yu-Gi-Oh! So that is a thing. Some new players are excited about Vanguard, but some toxic people who actually judge other people's decks. I mean, come on, Cardfight is supposed to be fun and no personal attacks. Exactly why. I don't understand why this is the thing. So Malaysia too as also. Yeah, Malaysia is also has that thing as also. Overdress status super nice, in premium actually painful. So, and I'm back. Sorry, I just had to wash my hands. No problem, Luke. So no problem. There will always be people who are salty as fuck. Sorry, I forgot I'm on YouTube. There are always people who are salty as F about Overtriggers and wants them banned. I think Overtriggers alongside gifts and strides, mini strides, just make premium too much for me. So. It's very sad when the minority of toxic people hurt somebody enjoying overall great people. Yeah, exactly. Bushiroad game like Vanguard and Buddy Fight really cool. It's pretty friendly and easy to understand. So yeah, Bushiroad really did make sure that their games are very easy, and that's why I still see a lot of kids still looking for Buddy Fight cards to this day. Like, it's good to see because the game is super fun from there. So Singapore is small. We'll never know when we meet CVGS people. Yeah, you'll never know if that one, because you know, while I'm probably the only person that actually goes by a pseudonym, because my real name is difficult to pronounce, and I rather not people suffer through that. But yeah, you never know when you come across Leon, you come across Dempster, you come across JJ, Brendan, Cal, and some of the other lesser members as well. You never know who's in CVGS. So that's the mystery. Do you encounter some people who judge your decks? I used to, back in the day. There are people who really judge my decks and wonder why I'm still playing this POS card. And especially when the point is proven when I play them in a match, and then they're like, easy win for me. Like, the deck sucks. I'll tell you. I'll share you this story. So, and this is more of a sign to it. This is one of those games whereby I won, but the other person was so salty about it. The other person was salty about it. They walked away. So that's the sign of toxicity right there, because that means that the guy came and he wanted to have a game. He wanted to have a game to assert his dominance, and you could tell that he's trying to assert his dominance. But I proved him otherwise. And okay, so here's the story. The game was me with my Perfect Riser deck, with only 5 different Risers at a time. So it's only Perfect Riser, Battleizer, Riser Custom, High Power Riser Custom, and Burst Riser. So those are the only 5 that I have. Trust Riser I haven't covered yet, if I'm not mistaken. And then this dude came in with Phantom Blaster Overlord. So here's what happened. Right up. I move all things to the soul, and then I actually have Perfect Riser with 5 Risers in the soul. So he becomes 23. So he becomes 23. Is my math right? Yeah, he becomes 11. Sorry. He becomes 26. He becomes 26. I put Burst Riser behind, so that column becomes 33. I attack his Phantom Blaster Overlord that has cross right already for 33k, 2 criticals, which means that it's 25k to guard, 30k to block. Back then, at the time when this happened, right, it was only Limit Break era. So 25k, 30k to guard every turn was very, very difficult. It was supremely difficult to guard. And I beat him. Immediately after the game was over, he packed his cards. No conversation, no thank you, no handshake. He just got up and left. It's a story that I don't relish telling, because it just emphasized more of just how players back then, and maybe up to a certain point these days as well, just how people are like very, like, they're just out there to assert dominance. They want to prove that they are stronger. And so any Vanguard player that they come, they just have this thinking of, I'm gonna beat him with my best deck. And this is a meta deck too as well. Then next thing you know, you realize that the person you're challenging is playing a non-meta deck, and suddenly he whoops your ass because you're playing cards that you're not familiar with, and then boom. Then you become salty. So, yeah. Yeah, so I did used to have people that used to judge my deck, and I've lost in most of those situations, but I've never seen those people ever again. I've never ever seen those people ever again. So here no one judges your deck unless it's Bermuda Triangle. So unless it's a meme deck, but at the most I only make jokes. But we here, we will never ever judge people's decks. So people should play what they want to play, and we can give advice. We can give some advice on how they can actually play the deck a bit more efficiently. But at the end of the day, you're more than welcome to play however you want to play. If you find that it's more fun to play this way, or it's more better for you to play with these sets, then all the more power to you. The best thing that we can do is just give you our a second person's opinion. That's all that we can do. This reminds me of a guy back in the Brigade era and think Great Nature is trash, and then you start Vaders against me thinking he crushed me. I take the win and left, so yep, there you go. Like my friend, I got a Valkyrian deck, and it was a dumb deck when we played. It's just friendly shit, no one's talking, nobody cares. So especially, I live for moments like those, especially when I had that match with Mark Ishii, the voice actor for Chrono originally. Like, we just played the game because the game was fun, and we just played off of each other's energy. That was like, that's the best game that I've ever played. That's the best game of Vanguard I've ever played, and I hope that everybody has that kind of story, or everybody is able to experience Vanguard that way, because that is like the best way to experience Vanguard. Really, really, really. So some people go by the meta deck just to top everywhere. So they're competitive players. Like they're pushing to be competitive players, and then they'll just sell and buy decks based off what is currently in the meta. So yeah. I'm sorry this is weird to ask, but is it weird to see girls play Vanguard? No, absolutely not. We have girls here that play Vanguard. In fact, we did a whole podcast about females in Vanguard and just kind of like where it is, because our friend Jasmine is a Vanguard player, and yeah, we actually got her insight based of all that, and I wholeheartedly support any gender, all genders to come play the game. Some genders may be stigmatized, and we did cover that a little bit in the podcast, but it should not be weird. It should not be weird to see females play. So Alta Orange is a good current example right now. Like she's just like every other like card gamer. She's just the same as Leon, as Dempster, as JJ, as Cal. Her passion for Vanguard is true and there, and that should be the most important thing, regardless of you know, the gender that they are across the board. It should never be weird. It should really never be weird. So it's funny yet weird when an opponent just leaves. So yeah, it always is. So not even a little bit. Yeah, I don't find it weird, but it's not common to find girls into Vanguard. It's not common, but it should not be weird. In fact, you should be as welcoming as possible. Not overbearing, but you should be as welcoming as possible to girls that do play Vanguard. Because one, they could either kick your ass, or two, they are, you know, they're just trying to find joy in it. And it helps if you help them along with, you know, finding joy in the game. Because the game is supposed to be fun. So yeah. Yeah, one of the toxic players here bought a Hugo, got destroyed every time, and said the deck was trash and quit the game. So there you go. That's your epitome of toxic. So they just came here because they want to win, and I'd say that's probably a Yu-Gi-Oh player, Vimero, because a lot of people actually jump from Yu-Gi-Oh to Vanguard because they can't win in Yu-Gi-Oh. that was the old wives' tale from Vanguard in the early days. So yeah, no one can prove they can be strong, says Luke. I learned that someone who's never lost can never truly understand the meaning of victory. It's very prophetic. It's very like fictionally written, but yeah, that's actually to a certain extent. If you never known loss, you never know what it means to win. You never really truly know what it means to win. So he was that guy that bought a deck and then sold it 1 week later. So hi Isaiah, how's it going? So because my friends encounter a lot of toxic players to judge girls playing it, so that's not the way to do it. That's really very, very toxic and so unwelcoming. No wonder we don't have a lot of female players here in Singapore, because of stupid. I should not try and label people, so I apologize for that. Because of people like them, it becomes very difficult, right, for female players to really get into the game, because all the other players all just oogle at is you know, the female, haha. I should teach you how to play, when actually they're just trying to try and get something. And that is the sickest thing that I could ever imagine. So it's really not the way to do it. So we should all be very welcoming to all genders, you know. And here in Singapore, we should be very welcoming to female players playing, because they invested into this deck, whether if by proxy or other, they did invest into this game. The least that we should do is be welcoming to them. And if those toxic players are not helping the situation at all, I hope that they're no longer here, because we really should be more welcoming to everybody, because Vanguard is a game, and it's a game for everybody. Toxic players always find stuff to judge us. Yeah, they always will find something to judge us. To be honest, Vanguard's a bit basic on your lucky. Yeah, I mean, if you're very high on, if you roll very high, then yes, Vanguard seems to be a bit basic also. But especially I think with Overdress, right, I think it's gotten a little bit more complex. So there's a little bit more decision making rather than a set list. Because back then, when there's the 24 clans, if you want to play a certain clan, you have a set list to play. And you want to play anything else, that wouldn't be as efficient. Overdress is not the case, because now the way that people plays, right, is actually like diversified and is tailor built to themselves, because of the amount of diversity that you can actually build your deck from. So I think that in terms of Vanguard being basic, it's no longer the case now in Overdress, because now you can actually build something that's worth for you, and potentially even top as well. No two Bastion decks feel the same. No two Nirvana decks feel the same. No two Zorgas or any other, you insert any other build here, they don't feel the same as well. So I find it hard to believe, right, that the top decks in tournaments and official tournaments, right, actually have like decks, actually they have like two decks that are built the same. They're built similarly, but different like numbers of cards or so on and so forth. But yeah, that's just the consideration right there. It's very hard to net a deck. It's very hard to net deck and then have that deck actually work well for you. You still probably need to do some changes also. The European, the Busher Springfest Premium Tournament, number 1 is a female. Yeah, the European Springfest Premium player is a female. The top player is a female. The winner is a female. So yeah, we have a girl player. She's there, just another player. Exactly. That's how it should be. They should just be another player. They shouldn't be a girl player. They should be another player. And that's the problem that we have here. People just view girl players as girl players and not another player. It's like fighting a kid and calling it, oh, I'm fighting against a kid player. Doesn't apply. It really doesn't apply. So yeah. Oh, that guy was a Yu-Gi-Oh player earlier, said a competitive MTG player. He just stays in Yu-Gi-Oh and buys and sells cards. So yeah, leave him be. Leave him be, Romero. He can live his life the way that he does. So, but yeah. Well said, Cap. Thank you very much, Rin. I do need a drink for that. I feel in Vanguard, female players are treated the same as anybody in the Vanguard community, which is great. I remember when there are some female and male Vanguard players, everyone help them both, no favoritism. Exactly. That's something that I really wanted to emphasize when I had Auto Orange here on our discussion stream yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, last week or so. Because, like, you know, Auto Orange is a female player, but she's just like any other player to me, and I really wanted to, when we had her on, we really wanted to treat her as such. And that was important. That was an important step for us to make sure that she feels as welcome as we will welcome Aegis, as we will welcome, say, Different Fight, you know, Vega Insider, Solemn, Kai from WCC, anybody like Outer Orange and any other female players should be treated just the same as anybody else, just a player. And with Vanguard Overdress, right, and the Vanguard community right now, I think we are more inclusive right now, especially since females are a bit more vocal. And as we have seen, Europe BSF is a female player at top. We should not underestimate, nor should we try and patronize female players or girl players. They should be just like any other player, especially so. Yeah, for most Vanguard players are more mature or friendly, so they don't treat girl players differently. Yeah. I think it comes with a level of maturity in that respect. In fact, I would say this also. I've seen female kids. I've seen little girls play Vanguard with their school friends who are male, and they're still enjoying the game, like through and through. And it doesn't have to be just Vanguard. It can be Buddy Fight as well. It can be any other games as well. Like that's the way it should be. Gender should never have been the divide. Should never been a divide. So yeah. Even though it's the exact same place, players to still use it differently. Different players have different play styles. Exactly. Yeah. Usually I don't like playing the most played build. I have a Valkyrian deck mostly focusing on Astrios. More on the grindy playstyle, but I find it more fun than the haha origin Uranus goes brr. Yeah, that's the way that it should be. When it comes to games, right, we should all find our fun. Every game is like a sparkler. And you know, like it's nice and interesting to see, but it only really is fun when you twirl it around and start to make shapes with it. That's kind of like what you should do with any game, especially with a game like Vanguard. Like, make your own fun. Get the best joy out of it. And yeah, right now, like us doing the Overdress League, the YouTube videos, or just playing Overdress in general. That's how I'm getting my fun. So yeah. To be honest, Vanguard Cardfight is also basic on your luck when it comes to drawing cards. So yeah, it is a little bit on the basic side, especially with in fact, I would say this, since we're on the topic of unpopular, Vanguard has way too many instances of deck searching. There's way too many instances of deck searching. A lot of like we play Battle Spirits here on the channel as well, and like Brendan and Leon and most people in CVGS finds Battle Spirits to be more fun because we don't directly search our deck. It really comes down to the top 4 and how you play with the top 4 and go from there, and how you build the deck as well. So, unpopular opinion, Vanguard has way too many instances of deck searching, and it kind of spoils the game. It kind of spoils the game by just a little bit. So, I'd say if your Poets goes into the main style build, as long as you enjoy yourself because you love it, no one can say anything else. Yes, especially so. Andrew agrees with me. I can probably send it to the outer orange also. But yeah. But yeah. There's way too many like deck searching, I feel. Like it should be kept to a minimum, or at least to a tasteful level. But then, you know, when even like say Dark Irregulars now can search your deck for certain things and put them straight into the soul. It's a bit too much already. So yeah, I think Grade 3 searches were a big thing in terms of power creep since they search also. Direct searching was problematic when I think it came with the break right era. So when break right era came in, right, then it was a lot more problem that we saw a lot of searching capabilities. Because before that, everything was a little bit more on the tasteful end. So everything is based on top deck, and you know, you're searching for the stuff from there. But then once more and more clans started having the capability to search because it's what they need in order to be able to do their things, it became a lot more difficult. It became a lot more samey, and you know, now everything can search. Like, things should be kept tasteful, and I think that's why Overdress feels better. Because there's not a lot of instances where you can search your deck for certain things. You can deck thin, yes, you can do deck thinning, but it's kept to a minimum. In Overdress, it's kept to the minimum. There isn't a lot of instances where you search your deck. And even then also, those are kept to just the right lines. Which means that the rest of the deck, right, does not revolve around searching your deck for a specific card and putting it into a regard circle. Overdress doesn't have that. And that's why Overdress kind of feels a little bit better in terms of deck searching. So yeah, I expect Bushiroad not to make generic searches since they really speed up the game now, so yeah. But searching like Valid Dragon, it's okay since he only searches Vermilion, so yeah. I hope Bushiroad could catch up with Pokemon or other card game companies' population or so. I also hope so too. And especially in this time where they can capitalize on it, because so far, right, Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Do not have a lot of interesting things to talk about. In fact, a lot of interesting things that you can really talk about, right, is in terms of card games, is actually the way that Vanguard is being handled right now. So yeah, I hope they do take the opportunity to actually take this opportunity while the rest of the games actually don't have much going on. In terms of you know, changes, significant changes to make the game better. Vanguard does have that. If Vanguard does climb the ladder and goes up to maybe top 4, then yeah, this is the time to do it. So yeah. Small searches for archetype or specific name cards are pretty okay, but when you make them generic, that's where the problem begins. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I use the example of Dark Irregulars can now search for specific cards and then put them into a soul. Then stuff happens. That was problematic also. Strangely, I see more Vanguard than Pokemon also. Pokemon is more kept towards collectors and kids. Because kids that are into Pokemon will buy the card game and such also. And people who have nostalgia for Pokemon will pick up and play Pokemon more. So in terms of the in-betweens, the ages in between, you probably would see more Vanguard players there. So it's not a bad. It's probably a good explanation why that is the case. So we could have a few years, and if remote fights and real life tournaments return, we could have more big events to bring in even more players. Yes, I really hope that they continue to do the online aspect and continue to have remote fights, because I think that's a really good way to have a lot of accessibility and for players to even access different tournaments that they can't reach because of location problems. So I hope they keep the online aspect, because that's actually a very, very useful tool to really unite the global Vanguard community. I think that should be the case. And also, I think it was pointed out by somebody made the tweet that I've seen before. The reason why they should keep it is so that people with disabilities can actually compete without having to be limited by their own disabilities. So having the remote fights in the way that they do actually is really, really, really good. BSF is a good thing. I hope they continue. I agree with that. So Benny said, Yawan, thank you for the subscribe. Hopefully you're here. If you are here, then welcome. Pokemon is only big 3 mostly because of sales, but shops wise it's just really Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic. Yeah. It's always going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic that's in the top 2. Pokemon is always going to be the third. And it's only the third because of sales. So yeah. 2020 Yu-Gi-Oh! So to me, Pokemon is 90% collectors. Yeah, it's always just mini collectors. So I could never get into Pokemon trading card game. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. So I did get into Pokemon. In fact, at the time when we were trying to do Pokemon content, there was a time we tried to do Pokemon content. I think this should be the deck here. Yeah. I actually enjoyed playing Pokemon a lot, actually. I did play the card game a little bit, but not by significant much. But then I actually ended up getting the deck. I still look at the decks still, and I still enjoy playing this deck still to this day. Like Pokemon. This is the Ultra Beast Poyo, and the main Pokemon is Ampharos. So this is a Mario deck, and my favorite thing to do, and this one annoys Dempster to no end, is I played this Mary with the ability Fluffy Sheep. So even if I go first, I can just put his Pokemon to sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah, at the time it was Sun and Moon. This was new at the time when I picked this up. So yeah. But yeah, I still enjoy playing Pokemon. I still do enjoy playing Pokemon. If I could whip this out and just like play with people again, I wouldn't mind. It's actually quite fun to play still. But yeah. In terms of like getting into Pokemon, it's actually quite easy, but it's not for everybody. If you have no nostalgia or you don't feel anything for the main series Pokemon, like the games itself, then yeah, the Pokemon trading card game, it will be hard for you to get in also, because a lot of the reason why Pokemon is successful is because it panders to people's nostalgia, or it panders to people's current interest in Pokemon. That's been the biggest factor to how their sales are really succeeding. So yeah. Kids buy the cards mostly as a toy. They don't take the card game hobby, and those who do eventually migrate to Magic or other TCGs. They still will have love for Pokemon still. One person that I can point out is actually Pro Jared. If you guys know who Pro Jared is, he's actually a very prominent YouTuber, and he's not hidden his love for tabletop gaming, and he still loves playing Pokemon. And while he started with Magic first, he did play Pokemon, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't play both still. Of course, he's more of a collector for Pokemon as it is right now. But yeah, while it is true that people will eventually migrate to it, but that doesn't mean that their love for Pokemon did not waver. People still love Pokemon. Like, I didn't play much Pokemon, I still love Pokemon. I enjoy Pokemon quite a bit, so. And I'm like just trying to find ways to try and play Pokemon that'll make it interesting for me. In fact, I have Pokemon Sword and Shield in here. I have Shield in here. But I never finished the story because I ended up focusing more like it's an RPG and just started grinding everybody. And so suddenly the game stopped being fun. Then I realized I need to find a way to make it fun for me. And the way that I found it is to play in Aibo mode. Basically, right, the only Pokemon that I'll ever use will be my main starter, and I'll just run through everybody. Just run through everybody with the main starter. Just that. So then I found that to be interesting, and suddenly I feel the motivation to want to play Shield again. So I probably have to restart, but because I don't know where my progress is. But yeah, going forward when I play new Pokemon games, that's probably how I would do it. So like Pokemon, that's completely okay. Pokemon is baby's first TCG, and that's completely okay. Absolutely, it's completely okay for that to be the case also. I hear some people actually use Pokemon to invest instead of playing. For collectors, yes, investing into Pokemon is great. And if you do it in the trading way, as in you trade with other collectors and such, that's okay. I significantly dislike the hype or the fad that certain YouTubers, I'll not name names, certain YouTubers made about how they can actually convert buying Pokemon cards and converting them into money. And so we end up getting a whole bunch of people just running into stores and scalping people and scalping the game, because that ruins the fun for people who legitimately loves the game and plays the game on a competitive level or on a fun or casual level as well. Because these scalpers are just ruining the game for them, and it really sickens me. And it also paints people who play this game into a bad light, because the only people that are known to, like, oh, they buy Pokemon games are these people that just wipe the shelves and then they just use it to sell back and gain back all the money that they've sold and more. Like these scalpers, they one bad apple. So yeah, it really boils my blood to think about these people. So yeah. I started playing Pokemon, and after a time I went to Yu-Gi-Oh! Started Magic with Yu-Gi-Oh! And now I'm a Genesis fanboy. Yep. People do invest in Pokemon just for grading and hoping to sell big. So that is more common now because of stupid people. Sorry to label, but yeah, like I really dislike this fad. Hopefully it dies out sooner than later, because there really isn't that much money that people can actually make off for selling Pokemon. So, but I still have my Pachirichu deck. So yeah. And now these vintage cards go for crazy high amount, especially if it's mint 10 condition or so. If you're a collector of Pokemon, and actually this happened recently as well. Jiraiya he's also a member of CVGS. You might have seen him in a few of our videos. He actually had a OG Charizard, and he actually managed to sell that for $900, 900 Singapore dollars. True story. But the reason why is because these vintage cards, right, are actually collectible, and there is a collections market for these older cards because they are rare and hard to find, because Pokemon TCG didn't get that big. The physical card game didn't get big, so there's not a lot of it in print. So cards like that actually end up being very, very valuable, and a lot of people would pay a lot of money to collect them. So yeah, in terms of like vintage cards going crazy amount high, it actually makes sense because Pokemon, right? Because of the nature of Pokemon, and I've said this with the Trickstar as well, in relation as well. Like the Pokemon world, right? In terms of Pokemon world, right, the card will actually gain a high amount of value. We'll get a high amount of value because not only is it old, but it's also part of a popular franchise that's still going strong to this day. And I say that also with the Trickstar DSR because the art is done by Clamp. And so the Trickstar card, right, will actually gain a lot of value in the anime world. So anybody that's actually collecting anime, that actually has a collection of anime, would want to get this Trickstar DSR. And if they haven't had it before, and especially if Clamp, like Touchwood, if something happens to Clamp and he becomes a legendary name, right, and then this particular DSR becomes much more expensive because Clamp, this prominent legend, designed this card, and so this card becomes highly collectible and it goes up in price because of how rare it is to find. Like currently right now, the Trickstar DSR is actually going for very high. All of you should know this, but it will gain even higher in the years to come. So something like the DSR is actually worth investing in. It's actually worth investing in. So, your thoughts on Digimon TCG? I've never played it. Jiraiya and Leon can actually give you a more better idea of how it is. So I never played personally, so I really can't give you an opinion on what my thoughts are on Digimon TCG. I heard that it's fun, but the player base could be a bit nicer. The player base could used to be a bit nicer. So Scalpers ruined TCG. Scalpers ruined everybody who plays card games. Like really. I hope Scalpers will come to Vanguard. I hope so too, but then again, there's never that much money to earn in Vanguard. So and they eventually will find out that it's going to be the case in Pokemon as well, because Pokemon is also the same. They literally have to wait 10 fucking years in order for oops, I've dolphined. I'm supposed to dolphin, but yeah, they literally have to wait 10 years in order for their high value card to become much more expensive down the line. So yeah, these fools are gonna get what's coming to them. I'll let Kama play their game. So but the game is so much fun. It feels like Vanguard, but doesn't play like Vanguard. Get it? I wouldn't know. I didn't play it. So now buying singles quite cheap because people are opening too many packs at the secondary market is now overflowed with singles. So yeah, that tends to happen. So that's why Japanese cards are a lot more cheaper than English ones. So yeah, no, please make them stay in Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So to be honest, Vanguard could catch up with Pokemon or other card games if Vanguard has more mature and friendly people instead of toxic people. So I can agree with that. I think how the community behaves is a part of how card games can actually remain to be successful. We all will give support to Bushiroad still. That's no problem at all. Now more so than ever. But in terms of like maturity and friendliness, that really helps the card game go along because more people can easily get into the game and they are willing to stay into the game because we have such a friendly community. So yeah, you're speaking truth there, Winterwolf. But since Vanguard doesn't have the nostalgia aspect, isn't a big franchise, Scalpers won't really benefit from it. Actually, Scalpers won't really benefit from Scalpers really won't benefit at all from card games because unless they're willing to wait, and even if they do wait, the cards probably won't turn out. They won't get that much money out of it. So they really won't get that much money out of it. So yeah, in terms of local communities, yeah, Vanguard probably will have more Pokemon and maybe even Yu-Gi-Oh as well. So yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. Careful not to swear again, Captain, because YouTube may be listening. It's okay. It's okay to swear on YouTube. But the reason why we don't swear on YouTube is because we want to keep this channel friendly. Like we anticipate kids like coming across our videos, so that's why we want to make sure that we keep profanities on the low. But this is a discussion stream, and sometimes Sometimes I may slip out the swear or two here and there. So, but as long as I remember that I'm on YouTube and not on Twitch, I should be perfectly okay. I should be perfectly okay. So yeah. Alejandro, did you watch last Vanguard episode? I don't get how or why Toya went bad. Okay. The explanation that Toya went bad, right, is because of the way that he lives his life. Like, go back and watch his story. He has to live up to a certain standard. He has to live up to a certain standard, and that was prominent in his family life. That was prominent in his studies, because he's on his way to learn to become a doctor, and that bled into him being a Vanguard player. Like, he has to be the best. So all of a sudden, when you start challenging, when you go and challenge this guy that has 19 undefeated streaks, and suddenly you lose to him because he has such a fun outlook on life, a fun outlook in playing the game, and then after that you challenge him again, then you lose to his freaking protege, wouldn't that set you off? Like, I've been perfect my entire, I've been playing this game perfectly my entire life. Why all of a sudden this kid who only just started is now beating me, is now easily beating me in this game that dedicated so much time? And for that matter, like, why are these teams even formed as well? Like, why do these teams exist? They're playing this game for fun. I spent my entire life trying to be perfect in this game just so that I can leave it and then be the person that I need to be. So yeah, that's his motivation, Alejandro. That's really his motivation. Like, he saw Vanguard as something that he needs to leave behind, and the way to leave it behind is to prove that he's perfect at it. But he's hindered by these people who are enjoying the game for the fun of it, and that's where the salt comes in. So yeah. I mean, Pokemon, not Vanguard, for buying singles become quadricles because so two-way packs. Yeah. I mean, it's true for any card game, Rin. It's true for any card game. So yeah. Yeah, Toya has that horrible mentality. I need to win every game. I need to win. If I don't win, then I'm horrible. Yeah. So, like us, we enjoy the game. Haha. Yeah, exactly. So imagine somebody that's on a competitive level just comes in and just wrecks all of us, and then he starts saying, alright. Then suddenly, Leon, Jiraiya. Oh, there's a fun story about that. Like, I myself, Jiraiya, Dempster, anybody comes in and suddenly we beat him, and we're not competitive players. He's never known us. He's never known that us to be competitive players. So why all of a sudden I spent my entire time like being perfect in this game? I've top shop tournaments. I've even competed in place high. Why all of a sudden am I like losing to these people who are just playing this game casually? You know? Like, I have no more words to say, but yeah, like imagine that coming in. Like, I hate to be that guy, but you really are just playing the game just to prove your dominance over other people. Again, I bring up the story that I talked about with the Phantom Blaster Overlord player against my Perfect Riser at the time. There is one fun story that I can tell, and this was from in the early days when there was only just the 4 clans. Back then OTT was one of the most stronger decks, and a lot of better players actually played OTT back in the day. That's why OTT was very strong. Was said to be very strong back in the day. This kid played OTT, and then he started winning against every other kid, and this kid was very cocky, like supremely cocky. Then Jiraiya came in, then he played a game with him, and then the kid lost to Royal Pardon. And after that, Leon came in. Leon was there at the time. He played against the kid with his Kagero. He lost to Leon Kagero. And then I just happened to walk in the last minutes, and I played Nova Grappler at the time. So I played this kid Nova Grappler, and then I beat him with Perfect Riser. You know what happened? You know what the kid said immediately after he lost to me? He immediately slammed his hand on the table, stood up, told the shop owner, "Auntie, I'm going home." Nobody has seen him ever since. Nobody has seen the kid in the shop ever since. It's one of the more hilarious stories. But it goes to show that there is really no place, and it's very like, for lack of a better word, it's very bad to have this mentality that you're using the game just to prove your dominance, just to assert your dominance on other people. Because that shouldn't be the way. The way should be you should have fun playing these games, not to prove that you're the best. Yeah, there's official tournaments for that to prove that you're the best. But when it comes to like just being with your friends and all that, you shouldn't be the dickhead that needs to prove that you are who you are. Like, Like, really? It's just a game, bro. We're here to have fun. We built our decks to have fun. It's never been our intention to take down the bullies, but you know, it is what it is. That's why when I see Toya, just to bring everything back also, that's why when I see Toya's arc being the way that it is, right, and him hunting down these teams and burning their banners, right, it's because of the, you know, of the upbringing that he has also, and because I know his backstory, I can sympathize with him. But that is just, but Toya will be one of those people that will just stare dead in the eye, bring out my Bruce deck, and really just you know, go to town with him. I didn't care if I won or lost. I would have just gone straight to town with him and just try and show him what you're doing is completely pointless. And even if your backstory says as such, right, this is no reason to eliminate all these teams just because you feel salty. So yeah. Toya, no, you can't have fun because you win. Everybody else, hey, Tachiagare, Brasta Braid. Yeah, pretty much so. 12th episode, Toya burn. So I think it'll be next episode that we'll see something like that. So what sucks in my local is that 50 minutes away are all for fun players, and then we don't run tournaments and the games are silly because they allow to take back plays. So the super competitive local is 1 hour. So yeah, I mean, there are shops that do cater more to the casual. So I tried to be one of those people. Back when I was running Vanguard at a shop for a time or so. But yeah, so the kid's not my Toya. No, he's not my Toya because he never came back. The kid never came back, so this is insane. You can't just keep winning so you can prove to be best. Exactly why you know, like it boils back to the point that you made earlier. It's like if you've never ever lost, you'll never know what it means to really win. So yeah. It seems to be Toya's grandmother want him to fun. So yeah, Toya's grandmother, while people say she's the enabler, but the thing is she really wanted Toya to have fun because he's just been so focused on studies and such that, you know, that her idea, or rather her intention, right, was to help Toya relax because he needs to relax. She's probably still stay with the family, like he wants you to focus on studies, but Vanguard was like, this is a game that here's a game for you. You should enjoy the game and just relax using the game. But Toya ended up taking it too far. So yeah, Toya's grandmother wanted him to have fun, but Toya took it too far. So but yeah, back in the days my lose rate was way higher than my win rate, so I don't care as I'm having fun. Yeah, exactly. My loss rate against everybody, especially on camera, is lost. But every game that I play, I always try to have some sort of fun in it. So Rummy Rumbles will always come to mind. The match that I had with Dempster, where I used Dayusha and just a pure Dayusha deck, not Daikaiser inside. That was one of the more fun fights. And every time I played some of the other decks and learned the new things, I can't wait to just go in there with Bruce and just start. You know, and just start like playing it, and win or lose, I just want to have fun with my Bruce deck. Because whenever I played Bruce off camera, I always enjoyed every match that I have, and I'm always feel like I'm learning something new with my build. And I want to make sure that that deck remains a consistent thing, especially when new boosters are coming out. So yeah, that's why I enjoy Overdress so much. And Vanguard still to this day, like I haven't whipped this out yet. I haven't whipped this deck out yet. This is a Grand Gallop deck. Yeah, this is a Grand Gallop deck, so I haven't really played this too much, but this deck is still super fun because high critical and now high power thanks to getting what is it, twin order? Now that I got twin order. Hang on, let me find it. Now that I got twin order in here, so from the V-Connect selections. Like now the deck is so much fun. It's now high power and high critical. And this brought back familiar feelings of Perfurizer. a lot of people in the team are actually quite scared of this deck. Never faced it enough times, but knowing me, that's piloting them, they actually had war flashbacks to Perfurizer 4 critical 23k, 31k. Let's go. Oh no, so yeah, I think I'm the most try-hard of my group. Not the best, but there's like 6 people that play and I still have fun. So yeah, just because you try hard doesn't mean that you're not having fun. As long as you know, whatchamacallit? you know, fun isn't defined by one singular type of thing that you do. As long as you're going in there and you're having good time and laughs with the people that you play with, that's fun. It doesn't matter if you try very hard, or if you are just a relaxed player, or whatever type of player that you are. Fun is not subjective. So Brain, sorry I was late as a captain. Worst connection, no problem, Brain. That's perfectly alright. I'm glad that you're here. So I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, like I'm doing here, damage denying and thinking pluses and minuses and stuff. But every now and then I just say, you know, Valk is a dumb deck. That's why I play, and everyone notices I'm like actually super casual. Yeah. There's no one way to have fun. There is no one way to have fun. Wow, this stream is getting longer and longer every week. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be, but I'm seeing like 18 people here just listening to my stories and just talking about Vanguard in general. Like, that's why our discussion streams are the way that they are. It's just a really good avenue for you guys to actually be able to interact with us here at CVGS and just talk with us on a more like person-to-person, peer-to-peer level, rather than YouTuber to fan. Like the dynamic is there, but we always want to make sure that, you know, that we are here to be able to show you that we can talk shop with you guys and just have a good time and enjoy and just talk and such. So yeah. Also, I was right. Matcha is coming. Both grade 1. Brain, I don't know if you noticed, but I did talk about it in the recap video that Matcha is coming. It was also in the live stream as well. It's also in the live stream. They showcase all of the cards, all the encounter cards that's actually in the set, and then they did showcase Matcha and they showcase Karon over there as well. So, yeah, pretty much that. So, are we ending the stream at 12 midnight? No, I got stuff to do, so I probably will end it in about 15 minutes or so. But yeah. Because we originally were looking at like the unpopular opinions that Alta Orange actually put up. I don't want to steal too much of her thunder because she's doing a video about it as well. But I just kind of like want to talk about a few of them. So, oh, actually Derek here. If Niue Dio, Fenrir loop, Valkyria loop, Blade Master loop, Gasteel, Brewfast, and Songster loops are banned or restricted, Premium would see the healthiest format it's ever seen. No degeneracy or decks can play into multiple strikes or so. Isn't this a popular opinion though? Yeah, it's a popular opinion. Derek, that's a very popular opinion though. So yeah. Also they reviewed Charon and Mana today. No, Mara wasn't revealed. I don't think Mara was revealed though. Oh, Mana, sorry. Because it's only Charon and Matcha that's there as encounter cards. Only Matcha and that one. There's no Mana in there, so yeah. But yeah, so since I'll pick the Genova in DBT03, yeah, I'm glad to see you guys are latching onto that. I'll probably just upgrade Valkyrion and the Blood. So good choice. Since I'm taking up Dark State, so I will see where CEO Mundo goes here. So in terms of what he does, so because if it's a Playmon style of play, I will be very happy about it. So I'll be very, very happy about it. So yeah. Vanguard didn't have to reboot after Gize? Nope. Vanguard needed to reboot. Vanguard literally needed a reboot. So I'm waiting for Maelstrom Sun. Yep. I wish I could build Fortuna, but I don't even have enough stuff for second Genesis deck. So you can swap in and out as long as you have your deck list. So as long as you have your deck list for Valkyrion, you can kind of like swap in and out the cards in your set with each other. So that's what Leon does with his Dragon Empire stuff. Like Eugene and Nirvana, right? Actually, they use the same sleeves, and that's only because Leon actually swaps out the cards, you know, each individually based on the build that he's playing. So yeah. By the way, what do you think about my post in Overdress, man? They're nice, but Brain, if I would be perfectly honest with you, right? I like that you're happy and you're sharing your polls with it, but they are your cards. So and I've got my polls. So I've gotten my polls. Like I'm happy for you, but you know, I'm maybe not the excitement that you're hoping for, because mainly speaking it is your polls, and you know, it's not like I ever get to play them. I'm happy for you. I'm 100% happy for you that you got your stuff also. But there's really no need to share your pulls really. So, like, you I don't want to let you down and end up giving you standard answers every time. So, but yeah. So, let's check your Twitter, Captain. Nope, you'll never ever see my Twitter. You'll never ever see my Twitter. You'll never see my timeline. So yeah. My God, the Mafia Dragon. Yeah, the Mafia Dragon. So, hey Bambino, it's about family. I sorry, I need to break your kneecaps. Proceeds to double crit you. Yeah, that's true. So, I put SP Zorga in PG. So, nice. I'm kind of hoping that we can wrap this up sooner. So yeah, I'm actually about to wrap it up soon as well. So, but it's okay. Oh hey, Vimero. V Premium shouldn't have been Premium and D cards. Should have been V Premium and D cards. I feel the lack of constant support will make V suffer, and it really looks like Boucher wants to push it to the side. I don't know, man. I just don't want V to disappear or lose relevance. And I don't want to play with strikes. I think going forward, they will continue to, as you see, like with the Weekend Collection, they will continue to support V series, and I think it will be done like biannual. I can actually have some time to breathe as well on its own. So yeah. I don't think it's gonna go away. I originally thought it's gonna go away, but after a while, I feel like it shouldn't go away. So I think they should be going for that. So yeah. If anybody here plays the Mafia Dragon, I'll ask them to make an Italian accent. So I wouldn't do it in an Italian accent. So I wouldn't do it in Italian accent. Lag. So definitely, I feel that there's a very unpopular opinion. So yeah, it is an unpopular opinion. That much is true. But V won't disappear. I feel like V won't disappear. So of wanting D in V era. So yeah. But I think they should be. I think they keep it to those two separate formats. And I think bringing those cards into bringing those D era cards right actually into V series right would actually if they did allow that, my opinion is that they won't. Nobody will actually play the D series cards in V Premium. Like there's some helpful stuff, but you get a lot more bang out of your butt from staying within the V series rather than you would with D. So yeah, as it's been proven with the Aces also, with Dragon Overlord and with Shadow Paladin, Phantom Blaster Dragon. So yeah. A-Gaze, instead of testing all clan skills in Bermuda like VEB 15, I wish they actually put those skills back into the clan. I will hate Sistico forever for not being Mega Colony units. Yeah, so all triple rise is Office, 2 Aldens, 2 Rouge, Vairina, Vairina, Baron Magnus, and Zorga. Very nice. Who else actually contributed something? Let me see. There's too many dragons in the game. If I see one more dragon, I saw a dragon empire, I'm gonna be sick. I said there's too much dragons even inside Bermuda Triangles. Narukami could have a Dragoon or Desert Gunner boss. No, Eugene doesn't count, sorry, and Tachi needs a Savage one too. Kagura should stay Dragon only also. I see you're responding to a lot here, Vimero. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I think I should call it here before I go on. So because I don't want to stay here for too long as also. But yeah, this actually is a lot of. This actually is quite a lot. Including those that may contain offensive content. Oh, okay, it's just basically swear words. So. Yep. So yeah. Very nice also. Yeah, if you want to share your post, like feel free to do so like over in the chats here. So like you can do so over here, then let others also join you on the fun as well. If you are on our server, if you're on our Discord server, you can also post your posts over there. Then everybody else can also look at your posts and they can also like check in with you as well. Right, so just feel free to come onto our Discord server. Links all in the description box below. Feel free to be on there. You can put your posts up there. You have a more centralized location to kind of like do that, and then a lot of people can really come and see and kind of like comment as well. So like yeah, so feel free to do that, Brain. Feel free to do that. Come onto the server and just share your cards over there. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will really love to see what you have. So I have a lot of time in my hands to see a lot of me on Twitter. So I know I'm well aware of that. So I'm very well aware of that. So But yeah, that's all for me here today. I appreciate everybody that has joined in our discussion stream. 80 of you guys here right now. My God, thank you guys so much for listening to this old man tell his stories about toxicity and Vanguard boosting and whatnot and all that. So it was supposed to only be an hour where we talk about stuff, but I end up looking at other things as well. But it's nice to be able to share these stories with you guys as well. I wish that Leon was here so that we can actually like bounce off the stories from there. But also at the same time, also it's kind of nice to share and just really talk about some of these deeper issues that Vanguard may or may not have. So. Yep. So that's all for me. Do be sure to subscribe to CVGS if you haven't done so already, because we do our cover fight videos. In terms of Cardfights, we're gonna have to slow down on those a little bit because we need to go back to the lab. And now that we have restrictions lifted already, we can get more people in the room, so we can actually do more Cardfights within a day. So we should get Cardfights very soon. I do plan to have a top 10 video coming out, and that will cover the Vanguard anime. So you guys can actually look forward to a top 10 list coming very soon. Do be sure to join us on Twitch as well. So if you guys wanna contribute to me playing Resident Evil 2, because I suck at the game. Do be sure to join us over on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/VGS. You can find all links in the description box below for all that. Follow us over all socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Join our Discord. Please do join Discord. There's so much more benefits that you can get out of joining our Discord, including get in direct touch with us. So if you guys want to have remote fights and just play with other people, I highly encourage, just go over there, and you want to play with us, feel free to do so. We'll arrange a time and date for you. So absolutely. So tier list video maybe. So lab, you have a lab. No, it's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech. Basically now, because we shoot our videos in our office, and so the last fight that we shot was the last fight that you saw, which is between Eugene and Zorga, between Leon and Brendan, and that was the last fight that we did, and that was in mid-May. We haven't been back to the office because of the heightened alert that we have here in Singapore, whereby only 2 people can actually be in a location at once. So we can't have 5 people in there and only 2 people in there, so we weren't able to arrange any fights. But now that we have run out of fights and restrictions has lifted up, we're definitely gonna have to go back to the lab to go back and shoot more fights over here. So if Leon were here, it might end as well. No, Leon will keep me in check. Leon will keep me in check. We won't be here until midnight for sure. So, but yeah. Tier list video maybe. I think I will not do a tier list video. I'll do, as I said, I'll do a top 10 moments of the Vanguard Overdress anime season 1. And yeah, I'll just really gush about the anime at that point in time as well. I think that's where I will gush about the anime more so. So that will be something that I will. So there's Leon right there. So yes, I will. I'm gonna end the stream now, Leon. So right. So yeah, thank you guys everybody for joining us. I appreciate everybody because I am watching you. Stop! I'm trying to end the stream. So I'm trying to end the stream. Alright, thank you guys everybody for joining us. Again, follow us on all our socials. Come over to our Discord. Subscribe to us here at CVGS. Do be sure to head over to Twitch to make sure that then give us a follow there. So you want to find us more often and just more opportunities to talk to us, you can actually do so over there. So right. With all that said, thank you guys again for joining us. Yeah, hey guys, and sorry about that. So no problem. So no problem there. So alright, thank you guys everybody for joining us on this stream, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.